Insurance has never been easier. Visit PalliserInsurance.com anytime, anywhere.
A rolling stone gathers no moss? What a weird saying! Does it gather moss if it's not rolling? So many questions. But what I don't question is where I get my tires. When your vehicle needs the right tires, see your local Cooper tire dealer. Your local Cooper tire dealer carries Cooper Pro Control tires. They're designed to wear evenly for crisp handling and engineered to take on water while maintaining grip. Ask your local Cooper tire dealer about Cooper Pro Control tires today. They'll keep you rolling.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Access Communications, trusted in rural Saskatchewan for internet, TV, and home security. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Here it is. Time of the week that a lot of you have been waiting for if you're fans of Sharky, because it's the Thursday edition of the Sports Cage for Access Communications. Sharky is going to be with me. I'll get to talk to him in a bit. There he is if you're watching the stream.
Hi, kids.
Colson is in the pocket, handling things on the other side of the board.
Are we protecting him? Is that what you're telling me? We have the
plexiglass up. We bought some from the Winnipeg Viscount Gort Hotel. So we got this is the show.
Remind me one time to tell you a story about that place.
We have Dave Thomas as they prepare to land in Toronto. Talk about the big game tomorrow and the positional chart that was released. We will talk about that more coming up. Arash Madani in hour 2. We'll hear from Josh Bell, assistant coach with the Riders. Hour 3 gets interesting. No suits today. Full press coverage. So we're going with Farhan Lalji in hour 3. And then an interview with Jessica Campbell. Jessica Campbell, coach of the Seattle Kraken from Saskatchewan, one of the first female coaches in professional hockey. It's the interview. It was on the Monday Nooner, so we snipped it down. I got about 12 minutes of it. It's just a fantastic, fantastic story and lady there. So show's busy. Life's busy. One of my pet peeves a little bit.
Go on.
Is when people say, oh, I'm so busy. I'm so busy. And I do it. I fall. I'm all tight. And I'm like, okay. How many kids do you have? 0.
You're not busy.
You're not busy. You have no idea what busy is. Parents out there, right?
Yeah.
Come on, you fist pump.
Yeah.
You know, you can be busy without kids. I get it, but it's just another. It's another level.
It's when you have kids and you're busy. The back seat is full of Cheerios, burger wrappers.
Your life's messy.
Yeah.
Everything's messy and dirty. And
empty drink juice containers, and you're just go, right?
Yeah.
I'm impressed now because people have schedules and they can text each other. What did parents do like in our age when they were like, here, get on your bike, go?
We had it. I think about this all the time. Remember the hockey schedule was behind the door in the phone room, and you crossed off when the games, and you crossed off when the games and practices were happening. Now everything's on the phone. Like, a lot of people have to remember that. Like, everything was on foolscap or loosely for a piece of
in the pantry. There was a bulletin board in the pantry that
it's like, you got a game, you got a tournament in Prince Albert. It's like nowadays everything's on the phone. You can kind of plan. Life's why it's busy and not to get into but life. People like that we talk about life on this show. It's my son's grade 8 grad today. And I didn't forget about it. I just didn't plan properly enough.
You just didn't put the right resources on it.
Mrs. S had her school's grad yesterday, so she's running around. I just saw the ring going into the house. She's got food under one arm, balloons and everything in the other, and I'm sitting here talking on the radio.
Relaxed, talking on the radio in a very attractive shark shirt, by the way.
Yeah,
I like it.
You threw that out there. So if you're watching the stream at sportscage.com, I do have a little bit of a shark shirt. Okay, we want you to participate in the program as much as possible. The Prairieland Rentals text line is 936-6262. Prairieland Rentals, power tools, gardening tools. They're the Husqvarna dealer you know and trust. You get to deal with the owner, 600 Albert Street. Been in the biz for 30 years, whatever that spring or summer job is. So Prairieland Rentals, text line 936-6262. And Curtis and Colson.
Yes.
Alan helped a bit. Not going to say. Alan's more of a sit back with his toothpick guy on the job and dictate how things go. But they fixed the phone line.
Really?
Lots of electrical tape involved, but our phone line is now working here allegedly. So if you want to call,
how far out? Like, is that why there's construction stuff out in front of the building? Is that why there's like road work and things going on?
That partially, yeah. They had to go underneath the street out front.
Nice work, boys.
Pull wire.
Appreciate it.
So that number to call, 1-866-767-0620. So every hour we'll kind of, if there's someone sitting online and they want to chat sports, talk about something that we're talking about, the Riders.
Ask a really, really hard question.
The Riders possessional. You want trivia, fire trivia at us?
Yeah.
We are going to have trivia coming up on the show too. Mike and Sales, just let me know one of the Pump Jacks.
Yep.
The new place.
Yes.
Which is, I guess, is packed for Rider games.
It
awesome.
is. It's nuts.
They're going to be sponsoring our trivia.
I like it.
We're going to have trivia once a month, and there's going to be a nice prize to win. Even if you lose, you get a good prize.
I can't win, can I?
Maybe not. So I don't know if we're going to do it on
What, I have to phone in with a separate voice?
Yeah, get one of the... I'm sure there's an app you can buy. Do you like when they talk to people like on Unsolved Mysteries that don't want to be... It's like a...
The blackout?
Voice modifier. Yes.
Maybe I can get Kramer to imitate me and call in.
Okay.
Jerry.
Riders, Argos, positional chart released mid-morning.
I like it.
I open it up while I'm cleaning and getting things ready for the grad party. And I'm like, okay, let's see who's... how are they doing this? How are they doing the ratio? Because Samuel Emelis is out. And I look and I'm like, running backs. AJ Ouellette. Okay. Bertrand Houdon. Yeah. Where is Kadeem Carey? Kadeem, did put him at slot back? Did put him at full back? No. He's not in the game against the Toronto Argonauts.
He's out.
His former team that just cut him. So that really, and I get, hey, Hardo CFL people out there, Greggy, I get it. You probably saw this coming from a mile away, but for sprinkling purposes and gambling for everything, I like to know. Okay, so
who's in, who's out, right? Yep.
Before I put any prop bets down too. So Kadeem Carey is not dressing for the Toronto Argonauts against the Toronto Argonauts tomorrow for the Riders. Samuel Emelis is out. We talked about that yesterday.
Yep.
Joe
Robustelli.
American. He's in. Wide receiver. See, I'm taking him anytime touchdown just because.
He looked really good in the exhibition game.
He looked good last year when he spot duty.
I think his enthusiasm is going to be off the charts. I think he's going to have a heck of a game.
Colson, good job. If you're watching the stream, you have the...
Well, he's put the chart up.
The chart up there. He doesn't fool around. He gets phones fixed. Gets
charts up.
Charts up. So there you go. There's something for the text line.
Yep.
936-6262, Prairieland Rentals. Or if when we take calls later this hour, let's hear it. What do you got to say about it? Then the other thing today, Riders over here for a second. It's on sportscage.com. And Dave Thomas was talking to me about this morning. And there is a wide, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Difference of opinions on this one. Will Connor McDavid win a Stanley Cup with the Edmonton Oilers? Now, you can go to sportscage.com and vote. And it's yes, it's no, or he will win a cup, but not with Edmonton. And that is the runaway leader right now.
That he's going to win a cup?
Yeah, that he's going to win a cup, not with Edmonton. What is your take? Well, give me your take.
Okay, I think he's going to win a cup with Edmonton and without Edmonton, somewhere else.
You are...
Because Edmonton can't let him go right now.
When they fix the phone, they must have a gas leak on that side of the room. Everyone's got their opinion. Go ahead.
He's going to win a cup with Edmonton in the next couple of years, right? And I still think that's going to happen. I still think there's enough talent in that roster with a couple of tweaks. They're there. But then in the latter end of his career, unlike Crosby, somebody's going to pick him up for a run, and he's going to get a second chance.
Crosby could still get picked up next year.
He still could, and I actually wish that they would trade him and give him another chance instead of letting him play for that moron who's the general manager there.
How about the Jonathan Taves rumors out there?
That's very interesting, isn't it? Yeah.
Right,
What's he been out? 5 years? 4 years?
And what does he? He's the retired guy that wants the job greeting people at the golf course. You're not doing it for the money.
No,
you're doing it just to do something and be out there.
I'm sure he loves to play and misses it and wants to be back in the lineup, but he's
Vegas, Florida.
I see Winnipeg. I do. I see the
You
hometown
were
benefit.
guzzling before you came in today.
For the record, I did the test before I came in, and no, I did not drink.
I get it. He's from there. Another sneaky good one, where I think another that people maybe aren't talking Mitch Marner could go. Los Angeles Kings.
Yeah, the Kings are going to have to move some money around and make some stuff happen because Marner's going to demand a big ticket, but I don't think he wants to go to a team that's out of the mix, say like Anaheim.
He might, though. His wife might.
Yeah. He might like Utah. Utah's got room and lots of young guys.
They got a lot of guys like him. Utah's got the team.
That's true. I'll give you that.
Utah's got the senior hockey team that they're going to run you out of the rink in November.
Yeah.
And then come February and March,
they're going to be in tough. Yeah.
Nowhere to be found.
And that's why they were, looked at early in the year. They were in the playoff position, and come the end of the season, they weren't.
So Sharky thinks that he's going to win one with the Oilers.
Yeah.
And he's going to win one
with somebody else at the end, in the twilight. I don't see him finishing, staying the whole career in Edmonton. And I want to go back to the Marner thing. Look at the Rangers.
What about him?
I think that's a spot he could end up.
Yeah, no, he could. Yeah. I don't think it's a good fit. Maybe it isn't actually a bad fit there.
It's not a bad fit.
There's a lot of pressure in New York, too, that he's going to feel. And he's just been through the boiling hot water of Toronto.
Like the media of Toronto puts all the pressure on Marner. He's the only guy with 100 points. He's their leading scorer. He had a point a game in the playoffs, and Nylander went to the beach, and nobody said anything. Like, come on. Like, let's put some pressure on some people to rise up their game, not to be the number one guy every single day.
It's all about...
I'd be bad.
It's all about Shirts, Sharky, and the Great White.
There we go.
Text line, 936-6262.
I like that.
Do you want to know what I think?
You're never one not to tell me.
I think he wins one, but not with the Oilers. I think last year, now that we look at it, I think last year was the real shot, was the window, was the one. And they kind of stumbled there in the final, going down 0-3. I think last year was the one that you could have snuck it out. Could have somehow snuck it out. This year, let's be honest, they look good. They made Vegas and Dallas look pedestrian.
Ordinary, yeah.
And then they just ran. And Hyman would have been key.
He would have been a big difference.
But would he have been a big difference or just a difference?
He'd have been a big difference. He was having a great playoff.
The way that defense was exposed, I just think
Ekholm did not look good. He did not look good. Ekholm to me was...
He looked stunned.
Yeah, he looked lost. And Bouchard looked scared. So Bouchard's scared and Ekholm's lost. It's not a good combination to have on the ice together.
So let us know what you think. Sportscage.com. The poll is there. We're already taking. We got a number of texts coming in on the Prairie Land Rentals text line. Opening up the phone lines could be a scary... Scary rendezvous.
Could be the end of the show.
No, that's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have the 7-second delay?
Yeah, we got
okay,
more than
good.
that.
All right.
As much as we want. So let's get back to CFL talk. When we come back, Dave Thomas, voice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, is going to join us. It is the Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com and on 620 CKRM.
620 CKRM is your home to country's greatest hits and the 90s at 9. 1 full hour featuring the biggest hits of the 90s. Garth, Reba, Alan, Shania, George, and so much more. No cassette tape or CDs required, and 90s mullets are optional. 90s at 9 for the town of Wolseley and the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM. 620 CKRM on location.
I'm Colin Lovequist, and I want to encourage you to grab a ticket for this great lottery. This is number 30 for the Combine Lottery, and every year it has grown. We've got the early bird ticket deadline Thursday, 8 o'clock. All those early bird draws, 33 draws, are coming up here very soon. In fact, they're going to take place on Monday, and somebody's got to win. It can be you, but you need a ticket. If you want to use e-transfer, you go to combinelotto.com. If you want to call us, we'll give you that number very soon. Again, a reminder, $250,000 could be yours. $330,000 in Combine cash towards the purchase of a brand new Combine. And we're just getting started. We got so much more. We got those subsidiary draws. How about gas and groceries for an entire year? Good for all Western Canadian co-op stores. We got Roughriders season tickets to give away, 30 draws of more cash, and it's just a great lottery. Pick up yours. Ask about the 50-50. Check out those super packs, 10 for $100. They're going to go quick. 1-888-453-1998. That's 1-888-453-1998.
The Gleaner S9 Series combines are designed for farmers in the business of farming. A harvest is successful when a crop is harvested as quickly and efficiently as possible and produces a clean grain sample with little loss. The Gleaner combine offers levels of harvesting performance and efficiency other combines are unable to achieve. Simply put, Gleaner combines save more and cost less. See the Gleaner S9 at Nick's Service in Emerald Park or go to nickservice.com. The Gleaner S9, built with the farmer in mind.
Did you know over 1.3 million homeowners call on Reliance for their water heater needs? With over 140,000 five-star online reviews and over 60 years experience, you could say Reliance Heath are water heater experts. Switch to Reliance Heath today. They'll give you $200 plus standard installation is included. For all your hot water needs,
call on Reliance.
Visit waterheaterrentals.com for details. Terms and conditions apply.
Since 1949, Nelson Homes has been providing you one-stop shopping for ready-to-move homes, panelized packages, and on-site builds. Nelson Homes' team of authorized dealers all over Saskatchewan would be happy to help you turn your dream home into a reality. In the Whitewood-Moosomin area, call Richard and Patsy at R. Thompson Construction or call 1-800-661-6534 for more information. Nelson Homes, trusted quality and service since 1949.
Calling all skilled heavy-duty mechanics. Core Industrial Services has an exciting opportunity for you. They're hiring a full-time heavy-duty mechanic to join them at their 9,000 square foot shop in Rocanville, Saskatchewan. As a heavy-duty mechanic, you're responsible for performing maintenance and repairs on a wide range of equipment, from heavy machinery to light trucks and more. At Core Industrial Services, they believe in the power of teamwork. Apply today on their website at coreindustrial.ca or call them at 306-745-4844. Core Industrial Services, where expertise meets opportunity. Apply now.
The ball is snapped. He scans the field. He's going deep. What a play! Rider fans, make your own great play by going to riders5050.ca. You can now buy tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can also sign up for the 50-50 Club and never miss a draw, including the weekly loyalty and early bird prizes. All proceeds support amateur football in Saskatchewan, equipping the heartland, and just maybe score a big win. Get your tickets today at riders5050.ca and go Riders! Riders 5050 is presented by ISC.
If you've got a Steelcraft garage door, you've got a door with parts manufactured and assembled right here in Canada. A door with better insulation and seal, plus a warranty you're probably never going to use. And if you don't have a Steelcraft garage door, you should get one. Don't just hang a door, install a Steelcraft. Turn curb appeal into curb envy.
Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door. We offer more.
Steel-craft.ca.
Don't miss a minute of Sportscage. Podcasts are posted at sportscage.com. 620 CKRM.
Welcome back to the Sports Cage on Thursdays for Access Communications, trusted in rural Saskatchewan for internet, TV, and home security. Still a lot to get to. Sharky had to step out here just for a quick moment. I think he's buying and selling stock. Maybe it's gold he's buying and selling. Western Pizza, all the Greek favorites you love. Ribs, salad, souvlaki, or maybe you just want a pizza. Visit your local Western Pizza. Find out the pickup special. Let's go out on the Western Pizza guest hotline. Voice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, Dave Thomas. Toronto Argonauts coming up, Dave. The positional chart was released. First thing jumps out at anybody is Carey is not in the lineup.
Yeah, Ryder's not going to play Kadeem Carey this week against his former team, the Toronto Argonauts, and it's simply a numbers game. And when the Riders signed Kadeem Carey, they were quite upfront and said, okay, it's a practice roster spot, and that's where he's been put down, is back on the practice roster. It's a practice roster position, but hey, if we've got an opportunity, we're going to work you in. Last week, with the injury to Thomas Bertrand-Hudon, the opportunity was there, and the Riders worked in Kadeem Carey. This week, though, Thomas Bertrand-Hudon is available, comes back in, and couple that with the injury to Sam Emilus, the foot injury will keep him out at least this week, so that means that you've got to bring in a receiver, and next man up in the depth chart happens to be an American, and that's Joe Robustelli. So you bring Joe in, which means that the roster, you put in one American, you got to take out another, and that's also the other side of the Kadeem Carey story. So I know that he was really jacked up about getting an opportunity to play his former team, but that's unfortunately not going to be the case in case something drastically changes overnight.
I think you explained that perfectly. Everybody in the room good with that? Like, that's the bouncing ball to follow, because the ratio thing, and a lot of us, we pay attention to it, right? But there's the tricks to it. And as soon as MLS was rolled out, I was like, ooh, what is that? What is that going to mean? Now, you mentioned that, Carey was this was laid out beforehand, where they stood with running backs, practice roster spot, all that. From what you know of him so far, he's just going to kind of roll with it. It's his former team, right? There's got to be a sense of disappointment. You're not playing. How do you think he's reacting inside and going to react, Dave?
Well, from what he told me yesterday, he was extremely excited about the opportunity to play in this game because he felt that he had a distinct advantage over the Toronto Argonauts because he knew what they were going to do. He was around them throughout training camp, and he said, they don't know what I'm going to do. So he was obviously jacked up about that. And then the whole idea that, hey, he'll be presented with a Grey Cup ring, right? Because he hasn't got it yet. And so when the visiting players come back in, as you saw with Calgary last week, they get presented with their Grey Cup ring. So he talked about how it was going to go as a memento of the year that was, but he said that it had already kind of been tarnished a little bit in the way that things had ended. So there is definitely emotion. And when someone lets you go and says you're not good enough, you know that you want to go ahead and prove them wrong. And he thought that this was going to be an opportunity to do that. The one other point of the conversation that we did have yesterday with Kadeem was talking a little bit about if he had something to prove going back. And he said, no, I don't. But you look at the injury situation that the Toronto Argonauts find themselves in right now with a big American running back out. You know they'd love to have him back, and he doesn't even want to entertain that thought.
Okay, let's talk about Toronto and injuries in a second. But the one thing, just to put a bow on this, that I want to talk about is Thomas Bertrand-Hudon is in the lineup. The last time he played, he was really good for the Riders. So I think all Rider Nation, it's probably a little disappointment that you're not going to see Carey in the lineup, but a lot of excitement for Rider Nation to have the train back in.
Absolutely. And again, you felt terrible for him. He had such a great opening game, and then he gets dinged up in practice, right? Tweaks the groin muscle. So he's out for a little over a week, but hopefully he's back and ready to go. And again, picks up where he left off because, there's the old adage that you never lose your job due to injury. And I assume that you could probably make that case for Thomas Bertrand-Hudon and the fact that he played well enough and beyond well enough to keep his spot on the roster in week 1.
Toronto's banged up, Dave.
Oh, Yeah, that's an understatement. You think that the Saskatchewan Roughriders are in injury trouble. They've got to make 8 changes to the Toronto Argonauts. And I'm not talking like 4 players in, 4 players out. I'm talking 8 players in, 8 players out from last week's roster for the Toronto Argonauts. And we're not talking about the backup long snapper, right? Like, you've got 2 offensive linemen that you've got to take out of your lineup from a week ago that played. You've got Deveris Daniels, one of the top receivers in the game, who is also going to be out. Winton McManus, arguably the top linebacker in the Canadian Football League, is going to be out. So these aren't, every injury is significant, but this is extraordinarily significant if you're a Toronto Argonaut right now.
As you speak, I am going to my gambling app to hammer the Riders and the points on this. That is really interesting. Brett Lawther, and I know you call the game for the team, expecting a bounce back from him.
Absolutely. You could see the determination that he had on his face in game number 1. And a couple of the things, like he talked about that this is a Grey Cup team, not if he's on it. And he talked about if he's worthy of being around the team. And he apologized to his teammates once again. And he talked about holding the team back. And again, a great level and measure of accountability. But he's shown in the past an ability to turn the page on that real quick, right? So that's what I'm really excited to see. How is he going to turn the page? Because he says that all I need to do is go 1 for 1. That's the mentality. 1 kick, go put it through the uprights. He doesn't want to make any excuses from Hamilton, whether it was hold or wind or anything else. He's shouldered the blame for his performance 2 for 5 a week ago, and he's ready to put it behind him. He says, I just wish I wouldn't do that to myself because I work all off season to make sure that I'm in a good spot to be consistent through and through, and then I go and do this to myself again, he said.
I'm looking at the forecast for Saturday, and with the lake and a lot of things can change. It's breezy. 32K winds it's calling for Saturday in Toronto, and some rain. That when you're in a little bit of a funk, I guess, as a kicker. Hey, I've never been a professional place kicker. Played golf, and the last thing when your swing isn't good, the last thing you want to play in is a bunch of wind and rain. So I'm curious on the forecast a little bit, Dave, now that I look at it.
Well, you want to add one more in? They're playing on grass. Right. Kadeem Carey alluded to perhaps the gamesmanship that happens in Toronto where, you water the grass a little more significantly than you normally would prior to a game so that the home team knows what spikes are going to go out and wear and so on and so forth. Now, again, put that out of your mind. It's not an excuse. It's not going to happen. Coach Mace coached there. He told his players, he's coached his players on what they need to wear. But again, you want to add another little level of intrigue. So there's wind, there's cold, and now there's grass that you're kicking on.
Well, they should have had him practicing on grass. Did we still have that little practice field beside Old Taylor Field that he could have went out there and ripped balls at? I don't know. Or has that been abandoned or something going on there? Yeah. Hey, that's good insight. Anything else, Dave, before we let you go that's jumping out on you now that the positional chart has been released, or anything on the other side of the ball?
Potential for the trap game is the one that jumps out on my mind, right? Like, again, you can't let your foot off the gas. And these are professional athletes. I don't think that they will. But the trap being, of course, you look at the scene and, okay, Toronto doesn't have their starting quarterback. They're 0-2. They didn't look real good. They played well in spurts for sure over the first 2 weeks, but they haven't consistently strung it together. Now you add in all those injuries. They're both coming off the same amount of rest. However, the Riders have traveled east twice in consecutive weeks. Again, could you this is one of those ones that could jump up and surprise you. I think the Riders need to get off to a good start. They haven't scored a point in the opening quarter yet this season. So if they can get off to a good start, things will be well. But boy, there's a lot of things that are like, ooh, this could be kind of a tricky trap game.
I'm taking the Riders minus 3.5 sitting right in front of me here all day long. I might tease that. I might take the Riders -7. At this point, with the insight that you've given us, Dave. Okay, travel safe. Travel safe. Have a good time in the big smoke. Tell Luke we say hi, and looking forward to the call.
Thanks. I was going to say, if you wanted to show your supreme confidence, do what Luke does and bet my money.
Classic Luke. That is voice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, Dave Thomas. You can hear them tomorrow here on the Rider Broadcast Network. It is a Sportscage. We're streaming at sportscage.com. Always on the home of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, 620 CKRM.
Never get tired of tire talk? Neither do we. We banter about balance, rave about rolling resistance, and we could tell you all about traction long before social media. Yeah, here at Quality Tire, we care about tires and, well, quality. There's a reason it's our name. This summer, trouble-free driving starts with quality service from Quality Tire, with 9 locations across Saskatchewan. Thanks for coming to our Tread Talk.
QualityTire.ca 620 CKRM on location.
Let us set you up with a ticket for the Foam Lake Recreation Combine Lottery. This is one of those special lotteries in the province, and for a small community, this is a big lottery. We're going to give it all away. The grand prize draw date's not till August, but the early bird draws are coming up this Monday, so that deadline is Thursday night at 8 p.m., and we've got a lot of cash draws coming up. 33 early bird draws, and then we're just getting started. Somebody's going to walk away $250,000 richer. We've got the Combine Cash for $330,000 from any one of our participating dealers and more. Visa, MasterCard, you can go through e-commerce at combinelotto.com and ask about that 50-50. Always a big 50-50. We got the Super Packs. They're 10 tickets for $100. Get one of those before they're all gone. Visa, MasterCard, make the call. 1-888-453-1998. 1-888-453-1998.
Hear that? What a tackle. That big crunch wasn't from the tackle, Chris. That's the KFC $4.95 End Zone Big Crunch and $7.95 End Zone Big Crunch combos only on game days.
The End Zone Special available on Rough Rider game days at participating KFC Sask locations.
Since 1949, Nelson Homes has been providing you one-stop shopping for ready-to-move homes, panelized packages, and on-site builds. Nelson Homes' team of authorized dealers all over Saskatchewan would be happy to help you turn your dream home into a reality. In the Fort Capella area, call Calvin at 99 Builders or call 1-800-661-6534 for more information. Nelson Homes, trusted quality and service since 1949.
The ball is snapped. He scans the field. He's going deep. What a play! Rider fans, make your own great play by going to riders5050.ca. You can now buy tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can also sign up for the 50-50 Club and never miss a draw, including the weekly loyalty and early bird prizes. All proceeds support amateur football in Saskatchewan, equipping the heartland, and just maybe score a big win. Get your tickets today at riders5050.ca and go Riders! Riders 50-50 is presented by ISC.
We're starting the party early with deals at the Canada Day sale, all now at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Until July 2nd, buy 2 Bass Pro Shops trucker caps and get 1 free. Mix and match between dozens of colors and styles. Or change up your regular barbecue fare with the new NXR stainless steel tabletop gas pizza oven, now $50 off. Celebrate Canada with these deals and more at the Canada Day sale, all now at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. See online for more details.
Have you met your match? Throw your cap and then let carmatcher.ca match you up with your next ride. With their recent grad program, the most rewarding program for new graduates in Saskatchewan. No payments for up to 12 months OAC, up to $2,500 in recent grad rebates, a limited time $5,000 cashback bonus, $500 gas card, first year SGI, MPI registration on them, free 2 years scheduled maintenance included, and so much more. You won't believe it. Full details at carmatcher.ca in Regina, Saskatoon, and Yorkton.
This is Sportscage. Be part of the show. Call 936-6262 or toll free 1-866-767-0620. 620 CKRM.
For Access Communications, trusted in rural Saskatchewan, home internet. Sharky is with me. When Sharky is on the program, it's brought to you by Flooring Superstores Regina. Trent Dickin and his team.
Love it.
Still 25% off most of the warehouse. They bought before the tariffs. I want to pass that on to people if you're looking for Flooring Superstores.
Great selection.
The Saskatchewan Roughrider Foundation 50/50, riders5050.ca. Now, the deadline is today at 5 p.m. to get into the early bird. So at 5 p.m. today, it's the trip to BC to watch the Riders play in Vancouver, 2 nights, hotel accommodations near BC Place, 2 tickets to the Riders-Lions game on July 19th, and round-trip transfers from the airport, or you can just take $3,600 cash, riders5050.ca. I wouldn't mind going to that game, to be honest. July.
Sure.
What's July weather like in
where? BC?
Vancouver.
It's probably the nicest time of the year to be there.
Is it?
Yeah.
I heard it's a real interesting place these days. All like interior, not that Regina is not that interesting either, but I heard it's interesting out there.
No, I'm in August. I'm out there in August.
I really would like to go to like that Chilliwack area. Abbotsford tonight, AHL.
Calder Cup.
They're a buzzsaw. We talked to Farhan Lalji a little bit later. We'll have to talk to him about that. And then the day like with Dave trap game. You don't
I'm not buying into that. No, it's too early in the year for that, right? I think Toronto's really trying to find themselves. I think I do think they're a little bit lost, and they're trying to find some consistency of play calling and plays and quarterback play and everything else. I think Toronto's a little lost. I think I'm with you on the gambling thing, right? It's a heavy sprinkle.
They're like that preteen version of Sharky, just trying to find himself.
Oh, that guy's still lost out there. Still lost.
I hit -3.5 Riders and went fairly aggressive on it.
I would call that bad aggressive. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they got eight guys out.
Yeah, 2 offensive linemen.
Like where are you finding like practices?
Linebacker?
Work release program guys? You're in. We need you. What are you doing between 7 and 10?
Get out of that truck. You come down here. You look like you can play.
That's a lot, and we're always a little bit worried and uptight and pissed off about our injury situation here. But that's something else. When Dave threw that on me there,
That's a big number out. Big number.
And then on the Rider side, remember 2 weeks ago how TBH, Thomas Petron, who not
put on a show,
how good he was.
Yep.
And I want Carey in there too. Like I'm trying to look if it's a video game. It's like, well, could you put him over here? Hey, Kadeem, have you ever long snapped? Get him in.
I think, and I'm looking through Toronto's roster. Like they're 9 games, only 2 guys, both offensive or defensive linemen. So they put a lot of those guys on the one gamer, which is a long list, fills up the whole computer screen. I still think the Toronto is easy, not easy pickings, but they're trying to search. They're trying to get their game underneath them, and they don't have it right now.
Yeah, I don't think the trap game thing.
No,
so much. The only thing that would maybe worry me or me to bet cautious, which is now out the window anyway, is that it's just kind of a short week, and it's a long flight that they're on or that they just took, and they came back, and now they're going back out there. And sometimes I guess it's like I don't think this team is really built to take anybody lightly.
No.
That's not how
that's
the
a good way to put
coaching
it.
staff, and not because we're the official broadcaster and we're being homered, but when you get a sense of their coaches, they seem to have that part of things pretty buttoned up.
They do. I'm really happy with what I've seen of this team so far. The way they've played, even the little bit of adversity with Law, having trouble last week. Like, it was no big deal. We've got this. We can fix this. We got his back. We're going to move on. I just think they've got a great mental attitude of nothing's going to shake them, and they can keep going. Emelis goes down. Keyshawn has a great game. Like, there's somebody else stepping right in, and that's what I see happening.
Robicelli, don't slay. I like him as a anytime touchdown.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we'll be dipping into that one too. Some of the prop bets tomorrow. Prairieland Rentals text line. Looking ahead, Tony says it's all good. Thomas the Train can handle the load. Too bad for Kadeem. Colin's kind of saying the same thing. Phone lines are open. 1-866-767-0620. If you have a comment on it. Colson's over there on our new phone line if you want to have anything to say on it. I wonder, you think MLS is just one game? Like, really, I know everyone's saying the right things.
No, I think he's 2 to 3, but he's not enough to put on the 6. Right? So he's not on the 6 game. He's on the 1 game, but I think he's 2 to 3, and he's back. The other thing is, if they get off to a 3-0 start, why rush MLS back in if he's not 100%, right? So, if they were 1-4, MLS, there might be a greater desire to put him in the lineup. If they can get to 3-0 tomorrow night, let MLS rest, let them get better, because it's a long football season. Guys get banged up, you're going to need them, right?
And they're Saturday at home against BC. So you got a nice another 7 days to rest there, and then you're back at it Friday the 11th. You got that bye week in there.
That's nice.
So he could miss 2 games and have a sit down
and
for
have a month
4.5
break.
weeks.
Yeah, and have a month break would be perfect. Yeah.
Whatever the injury really is.
It never says on this depth chart sheet, does it? No.
No, you say that much, man. Paula is saying be cautious with Sam. I agree. Maybe 2 weeks. Yep.
I agree.
She's agreeing with you. Then
smart woman.
2 games is almost a month. Do the 2-gamer.
Like it, Paula.
Also, some comments on the McDavid thing. You know where the Oiler fans are, what they're saying. But I don't know. Some other fans are maybe still in not denial. What's the next stage after
denial? In bed, depression?
Yeah, because that's tough to swallow. I was thinking about this after they lost, or you knew it was. I don't know how many Oiler fans were like, turned it off. Yeah, turned it off with 7 minutes left. Turned it off with 3 minutes left. And it's you kind of feel for them, but the same side, the players, that absolute grind to get there twice,
to play 100 games in a season and to
lose.
Yeah,
like that's what hit me in that. Midway through that game, as they panned the Edmonton bench, and they talked about it, and it's you have those guys, and all of them would have laid it on the line. Matt, we got to do this again. Like, you mean to tell me that I got to strap these skates on and carry this bag into a rink and start summer skating in 3 weeks?
In about 90 days I'm in training camp. Come on, you are,
and it's an Olympic year. And Connor McDavid is going to be leaned on heavily in the Olympics.
There's going to be a lot of players on both teams in the Olympics of that group, without a doubt. But I always say...
Oilers.
Yeah.
Oilers got McDavid, Draisaitl.
I think Ekholm's going for Sweden. There'll be a couple, like Arvidsson, and those guys will get looks with Sweden.
Are those guys even back next year?
Well, with somebody.
Have those guys even been with the team for the last 3 weeks, to be honest?
Yeah, so there'll be some bodies. Yeah, I mean, Hyman might be looked at the Olympics by the time it rolls around.
Yeah, see, Hyman's... I was thinking about that. And if you have Bennett, and I don't know if you need a Hyman. You need the and international reffing and international game. It's going to be called a lot different.
That's where it would really have trouble.
That's where a Marner. Yeah.
Oh, Marner's going to be in the mix without a doubt.
I was surprised with the Reinhardt pick.
I wasn't.
On the 6.
No, I wasn't. He's a scorer, right? Hardest thing to do in the National Hockey League, score goals. Reinhardt can do it. That's why Braden Point's there. He can score.
Point's at 200 foot.
Yeah, but he can score.
Like you could put Point anywhere, and he can play.
I go back to I think it was 2006 Olympics, the one in Turin, Italy. We had to Band-Aid together a roster because so many guys got hurt that month before the Olympics. There was a bunch of guys that maybe weren't even on the radar that came out and ended up playing in that Olympics. We didn't do very well, but that could happen to any country leading up to that. And so the 6 is nice to announce, but there's a lot of changes between now and when the Olympic rings get lit up.
The whole debate on goaltending is going to will be really interesting as that gets on. But yeah, like back to the poll question on sportscage.com and McDavid winning a cup. in Edmonton. It's part of that. So it's the grind for the players, it's the grind for the organization, and now you got to retool. Okay, where can we get better? Who can we get better with? Is that free agent going to want to come here?
Did I already read that they re-signed Trent Frederick?
No.
I believe I saw that they've made an offer to him and they want to get him under contract. I think that's a good move. He's a depth guy, right? I can see him taking Kane's spot on the roster, moving up in their lineup. I don't think Kane's going to be in the mix when they go forward.
I think Kane's done.
I think he's done. They can't put him on the IRL again for the whole year and bring him back.
His attitude seemed real pissy.
And yeah, I mean, he's got a life. He's got a shelf life, and I think it's up in Edmonton.
Yeah,
right. I think he's gone moldy.
He does.
Yeah, he's gone moldy. He's got to go look at a new spot. But it doesn't matter what team you are, whether you win or lose. You change 20% of your lineup. Like there were new guys in Florida. There were new guys in Edmonton this year. There'll be new guys again next year. You can guarantee that guys like Hyman, Nugent, Draisaitl, McDavid, Nurse, and I believe Bouchard will be back, even though like I say, it's tough to get.
I think you have to have him
you bring him back to score goals. You just can't put him out in big defensive situations, right? But from there, I think it's kind of wide open. Kulak's been a really good D-man for them. I don't think there's any complaints there. They'll probably want him to stay in the lineup. I think Corey Perry's a curse. If you're going to what has he lost? 6 of the last 7, been 5 in the last 6 Stanley Cup Finals. He lost.
Mentioned today that he wants to be back with the Oil.
Sure, he does.
If it works out, so
yeah,
you can get him at a decent deal.
I mean, he's going to want a little more than the $960 he was getting last year or whatever. But
will he though?
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, he was playing first line minutes for him. He was a contributor. Corey Perry, at 40 years old, is still bringing a lot of value to your hockey club. I don't think having Corey Perry around is a bad idea at all. But, their third and fourth lines, lots of those guys are interchangeable with other bodies within the league. So, right?
You can always get in on it. We'll get some more of the texts later on the Prairie Line Rentals text line at 936-6262. It is
Question.
a sports... Well, question?
Question. Do you think they have the money to go after Marner?
Who?
The Oilers.
Marner doesn't want to go to Edmonton. After dealing with what he dealt in Edmonton or in Toronto, I don't. They could give him they can give him that refinery. No,
nothing's off the table as far as I'm concerned with Marner.
He is not staying in Canada. He's not playing in a high pressure market. I don't think
he's not playing in Toronto. That's over.
Toronto's dreams over.
Yeah, yeah. I think he's told them, don't even write it on paper. You'll feel bad about it.
It is a Sports Cage. We are streaming at sportscage.com.
This is Country Gold with Steve Harmon. Your home for the country hits of the 80s, 90s, and 2000s.
Hello, I'm Steve Harmon, inviting you to join me for Country Gold. Each week we play country favorites from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, and we check in with the stars who made them, too. This weekend on Country Gold.
Country Gold, brought to you by Trent Dickin and his experienced team at Flooring Superstore. Saturday mornings at 6 and Sunday afternoons at 4 on the Voice of Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM. 620 CKRM on location.
I'm Colin Lovequist. Want to remind you about this great lottery that's getting set to wrap up. The grand prize draw date is not until August, but we've got a chance for you to win some early bird prizes as the deadline is Thursday night at 8 p.m. All those early bird draws coming up at noon on Monday. We've got 33 draws for the early bird. We've got lots of cash prizes and so much more. We've got the grand prize draw date coming up in August. And we're going to give away $250,000 cash or $330,000 in combine cash. That's towards the purchase of a brand new combine. Lots of cash prizes, lots of subsidiary draws. How about gas and groceries for a year? We got Roughriders season tickets to give away and more. Visa, MasterCard. Go to the website, combinelotto.com. You can use e-commerce or e-transfer there. If you want to talk to one of our fantastic volunteers, pick up the phone and be sure to get yours. And get that 50-50 ticket. 50-50 tickets are $20 each, 3 for $50, or that super pack of 10 for $100. 1-888-453-1998. That's 1-888-453-1998. Good luck.
Hey, I just got Wi-Fi down here.
Oh, just down there in the corner by your mouse hole in the wall?
It's from Glasser's TV, your SaskTel authorized dealer. You should get it too.
I do. My entire house here is blanketed in fast, reliable Wi-Fi while getting security and safety tools to help me manage my connected home.
It covers all that space up there?
It sure does. In fact, I have enough to cover your space down there too, if I wasn't planning on setting a trap for you.
Oh.
Contact Glasser's TV, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Moosomin today.
Since 1949, Nelson Homes has been providing you one-stop shopping for ready-to-move homes, panelized packages, and on-site builds. Nelson Homes' team of authorized dealers all over Saskatchewan would be happy to help you turn your dream home into a reality. In the Strasbourg, Last Mountain Lake area, call Dean at Solid Works Carpentry or call 1-800-661-6534 for more information. Nelson Homes, trusted quality and service since 1949.
The ball is snapped. He scans the field. He's going deep. What a play! Rider fans, make your own great play by going to riders5050.ca. You can now buy tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can also sign up for the 50-50 Club and never miss a draw, including the weekly loyalty and early bird prizes. All proceeds support amateur football in Saskatchewan, equipping the heartland, and just maybe score a big win. Get your tickets today at riders5050.ca and go Riders! Riders 50-50 is presented by ISC.
A rolling stone gathers no moss? What a weird saying! Does it gather moss if it's not rolling? So many questions. But what I don't question is where I get my tires. When your vehicle needs the right tires, see your local Cooper tire dealer. Your local Cooper tire dealer carries Cooper Pro Control tires. They're designed to wear evenly for crisp handling and engineered to take on water while maintaining grip. Ask your local Cooper tire dealer about Cooper Pro Control tires today. They'll keep you rolling.
If your garage door is running a little rough, you don't need to be talked into something that you don't need.
Sir, what you need is the new gigantic-esque, voluminous, astronomical, ginormous, gargantuan, exquisite air garage.
Just call Busy Bee Doors, the local experts who have been in business for many, many doors. They can fix or replace any commercial or garage door.
Wait. With me, you get a little garage door keychain, please.
Busy Bee Doors, the garage door specialists.
Employee pricing has arrived at Crestview Chrysler with the 100 Years in Canada event. That means $99 per week on a new 2025 Jeep Compass. Financing as low as 0% for 72 months on select Ram 1500s. Save up to $26,000 on the new Dodge Durango Hellcat. Or get into a new 2024 Dodge Hornet for as low as $38,995. Take your pick, boss. It's employee pricing. Only for a limited time at Crestview Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals. For all your hot water needs, call on Reliance Heath today.
Riders Argos tomorrow. We start things here at the pregame at 2:30. If you haven't heard, Kadeem Carey not dressing for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Thomas Bertrand-Houdon back in. Samuel Elmless is on the shelf as well. Western Canada Baseball League tonight. The Energy City Cactus Rats make their first visit to Curry Field to take on the Red Sox. Swift Current plays host to Moose Jaw. Sylvan Lake is in Weyburn, and Saskatoon in Medicine Hat. The Blue Jays looking for a 3-game sweep of Arizona. It's a matinee affair. And currently, let's check it out. It's final today. Diamondbacks 9-5 over the Jays. NBA, OKC, and Canadian Shea Gilgeous-Alexander have a chance to win the NBA championship tonight. They got a 3-2 lead in Indiana. That is your sports ticker for Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals, keeping you in hot and soft water. Call on Reliance. Have you watched any of the basketball?
None. It's a flaw I have. I don't really enjoy the game.
The final's been really good. Again, basketball's one of those ones like the first, I'll pick it up at half.
Yeah.
Or fourth quarter. I've really been into it, and I've obviously been dabbling in the gambling side of it. It's everything the over stares you in the face. So last game I didn't take it.
And it was over.
Yeah, what did you say? It's at 23.5? 223?
223.
Yeah, I'm taking the over.
Okay.
Tonight. So
I don't even know it. I'm going to gamble on it because you tell me. That's how confident I am in your support.
I'm sure we'll talk about that with Arash Madani when we come back in hour 2. It's for Access Communications on Thursday. It's a Sportscage, streaming at sportscage.com.
We are the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM Regina, a Harvard media station.
CKRM.
It's 4 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Corey Atkinson from the SaskToday.ca newsroom with your 620 CKRM news. Severe weather could hit Saskatchewan today as Environment Canada has issued watches for storms and possible tornadoes. Thunderstorms may develop this afternoon, bringing large hail, strong winds, and heavy rain. The severe thunderstorm watch covers most of southern Saskatchewan, while a tornado watch is in effect for parts of the east. Officials advise residents to take shelter if a tornado warning is issued. Spring seeding may be complete in Saskatchewan, but that doesn't mean farmers aren't busy. That's according to Saskatchewan Agriculture's Matt Struthers, who compiled the weekly crop report.
Finishing up some of those grain hauling contracts, get those to the elevators, and then lots of infield spraying now when the weather permits. Herbicides and insecticides for insects. Lots of work to be done, especially after a good shot of rain in some parts of the province.
Struthers says a good general rain is needed to help push crop development and ensure the crop doesn't begin to deteriorate in condition. Prime Minister Mark Carney says Canada is taking steps to protect the steel and aluminum industries with new counter-tariffs and protectionist policies. He says that while he's hopeful negotiations with the United States will bring about a new trade agreement, Canada needs to protect itself from unfair trading practices.
We must reinforce our strength at home and safeguard Canadian workers and businesses from the unjust U.S. tariffs that exist at present. And that's why we're announcing that Canada will be introducing a series of countermeasures to protect Canadian steel and aluminum workers and producers.
Carney says that Ottawa will also be imposing new tariffs in the coming weeks to protect the industry. The Competition Bureau says Canada should allow up to 100% foreign ownership of domestic-only airlines. The watchdog noted in a new report that the country's airline industry is highly concentrated. Aviation expert John Graddick says he thinks the Competition Bureau is making a statement.
I think they're making a blanket statement that, competition, drives prices down. But competition requires market size and sufficient market size in order for that competition to enter that market.
The current cap on foreign ownership sits at 49%. Canada is going ahead with its digital services tax on big tech companies that's set to take effect at the end of the month. Finance Minister François-Philippe Champagne says the legislation has been passed by Parliament. It'll hit companies like Amazon, Google, Meta, Uber, and Airbnb with a 3% levy on revenue from Canadian users. The move comes as pressure has mounted on Ottawa to put the tax on hold ahead of trade discussions with the United States. And REACH volunteers packed 87 special food baskets this week to honor National Indigenous Peoples Day. Each box includes traditional Indigenous food such as wild rice, bannock mix, and Labrador tea. The project was done in partnership with the Saskatchewan Indian Institute of Technology and supported by local food suppliers. That was your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
Here at Young's Equipment, we know you expect premium performance and dependable durability from your Case IH equipment, and you should demand the same from the parts you put inside it. Only Case IH genuine parts are guaranteed to perform to the rigorous standards of your Case IH equipment. They're engineered to work harder and last longer, so you can maximize your uptime and minimize your maintenance intervals. Others can imitate, but none can replicate. Nothing beats the original Case IH genuine parts. For Case IH genuine parts, visit Young's Equipment Incorporated.
When you're on the road, don't forget, our Cola Co-op is your home away from home. And they're now your liquor store away from home, too. Attached to the gas bar and convenience store is their 500-square-foot walk-in beer cooler, with a wide variety of wine and spirits, too. Heading to the lake or out camping, make our Cola Co-op your one-stop shop. Grab your beer, ice, fuel, snacks, and even hot chicken all in one place. Our Cola Co-op, you're at home here.
Weather brought to you by Line X Regina, Serious Protection, Killer Looks, 1865 McCarra Street. Weather from the Precision Weather Desk, partly cloudy and a low down to 13 tonight. Tomorrow, mostly sunny. A high of 22 Friday night, spotty showers in the evening. And then Saturday, scattered showers all day, 60 to 70% chance there, high of 19. Sunday, occasional showers again, and a high of 14. Start of the week, Monday, looks like spotty showers and a high of 16.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line-X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line-X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line-X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line-X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line-X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street.
Let there be light. Introducing Green Frog Canada.
Did someone say Green Frog?
Not that Green Frog. Green Frog Solar Systems. Great for communities, small towns, city parks, and bike trails. As you walk along the path, the light brightens, then dims as you walk away, saving energy and allows you to see further. Proven to work in Saskatchewan weather and dark sky compliant. Federal grant is available.
Turns out it is easy being green.
GreenFrogCanada.ca, a division of Metal Man. You think, we do.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Access Communications, trusted in rural Saskatchewan for internet, TV, and home security. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Welcome back. It's hour 2. Sharky is with me, and Sharky is on the program. It's for Flooring Superstores Regina, over 30 years in business. Visit them on Park Street. There is a CFL game tonight, so we're not doing no cage tomorrow because the Rider game's out east. Things fire up early there. 2:30 is the Rider broadcast network takes over. But there is a game tonight, and when we talk to Farhan later, we're going to get his, if there's an intriguing matchup for him. Montreal, Edmonton tonight. Now, I know on paper it looks like Montreal, and but what did I say over under 4 or 5 games that we see Fajardo?
Yeah, I think that's what you had at the 4.5. You had 4.5 on it. This is 3.
This is game 2 for Edmonton. They're
okay. They had the bye. 0-1. To me, the interest I have is in Montreal's quarterback. Right? I want to keep seeing that young man develop, see what becomes of him. I like the way he played in the start, and he played well last year, so I think there's lots to watch there, and I look forward to seeing how he turns out.
The thing, like they have Edmonton. Edmonton's paying 3.25 as the underdog at home tonight. That seems inviting.
It's big.
Thursday night, Montreal flying in.
It's big. Where was Montreal last week? Did they? Where were they? Can't remember. They were at home, I thought.
They were at home to
Ottawa. That's where they were. They were at home to Ottawa.
Yeah, and they 39-18 win.
Yeah.
I think that's a real interesting number. I wouldn't be afraid to put a few on Edmonton in the home game. That's their home opener.
It is their home opener.
Let's go. Let's go, Elks. Do it put it on.
Now you got me thinking. I didn't have any. Wasn't even looking at that one.
It's an intriguing matchup, I think. But I know the odds makers think that Montreal's a heavy favorite, but we could change. Maybe we can talk to Arash about that and what he thinks. Let's get her going with for Brian Golly.
It's time to go coast to coast with Arash Madani for Smart Investing Solutions. Be smart with your money. Call Brian Golly at Smart Investing Solutions, 546-2533.
I don't know, Arash. Plus 212 on one, and another one paying 3.25 for Edmonton at home tonight to Montreal. Talk about no respect.
It's value.
At home. Yeah.
Yeah, it's value. It's value. It's absolute value. Here's the game that I'm most intrigued about, fellas. Because Barney, you know where I stand on the Stampeders. Like at the start of the season, if you told me they'd go 2-16, I'd say, yeah, I believe that. So now they're 2-0, and Ottawa's coming to town, and Drew Brown is out again, and I think Drew Brown's now out for a little while. Like I'm getting the sense it's going to be another couple of weeks with Drew Brown. So now they're going not with Matthew Schultz, their backup, but Dustin Crump. Okay, so there's that. Now we're adding 10 degrees Celsius, not quite hurricane force winds, but close, and rain. And I know this sounds like really getting into the weeds, but this is what we do when we sprinkle. We got a backup long snapper for Calgary, a backup long snapper for Ottawa. We have a global punter for Calgary. So we basically have a monsoon, a third-string quarterback, a bunch of backup long snappers. What could possibly go wrong? I had a spy at Ottawa's practice the other day, and they told me they're lining up 5 receiver sets for most of practice. They're not even running the football. I'm like, okay. I'll bet the farm on the under, I guess.
I think the way you look at it is what's going to go right, not what's going to go wrong. What's going to go right in that game? Yeah,
it's funny you say that because I think that weather system. I do read weather, so obviously I'm an expert.
Yes,
that weather. That
meteorologist extraordinaire.
For the record on that, I read what's put in front of me.
Storm
Center
620, more at 11.
Yeah. He sticks his head out the window. Is how he gets the weather.
That weather that's moving here, staying in, that must be what. Because Calgary, I didn't even notice that Arash until you brought it up. Calgary on Saturday, 9 degrees, wind 31 gusting. Yeah,
sure.
It could snow. It could snow. In Calgary, it snows every month. It could.
And Sharky, Reggie Begelton goes on the 6th game with a broken leg or whatever it was, and you're just like, okay, cool. So how did Calgary get better from last place? They upgraded their receiving core and their quarterback's better. Well, then suddenly you're just removing probably their best receiver, and you're like, okay, all right. Where do points come from other than chaos? But this is why I bring up backup long snappers. With punts and field goals and all that kind of stuff, do you airmail snaps? Does the wind take those footballs on a life of their own? This is the stuff that goes on that just gets wonky.
Well, when I talked to Dave last hour, I said, Brett Lawther, there's some wind and could be some rain in Toronto, and you got the turf. You're playing on grass. On actual grass.
Okay.
So
Okay. Barney, this is my one time a year where I need to defend my guy from Truro, Nova Scotia. Okay, Brett Lawther's the man. Brett Lawther's the guy. Brett Lawther's always the guy. Brett Lawther, as long as, and they last had the Grey Cup in Hamilton in 23? So as long as the Riders they're not going to cross over anytime soon. Brett struggles at the old Ivor Wynn, whatever you want to call it now, Hamilton Stadium. But outside of that, the guy's money. Leave Brett alone. It's not his fault he's got a new holder. He can't kick in one stadium. He's the guy. He'll always be the guy when, as our friend John Gibbons would say, when it's nut cutting time, the kid from Truro, Nova Scotia is going to deliver. So that's
really
the one time a year I'm going to stand up for my Truro, Nova Scotia brethren, for my guy, for my kicker.
Let the record show all I said was the weather and field conditions. I didn't say anything about
Sharky. Look, in Truro, we're used to the tidal bore coming in. We're used to certain conditions. We're just not used to the wind.
How can you not be used to the wind in Truro? Doesn't a wind blow there like every day, like constantly?
Well.
Yeah, Regina.
I'm just defending my guy. That's all I'm saying.
I know you are. And you know what? It's very honorable of you to defend somebody else from the Stanfield Underwear Factory. That's nice. I like it.
Correct.
Yeah,
correct.
Okay, we'll come back to CFL in a second here. I want to get onto the NBA front because I'm trying to get Sharky to watch this game tonight because hey, they've been good. Like you can pick it up at halftime and you're very entertained. Indiana's not out of a game. They've somehow just get it done. But Oklahoma City can win it all tonight. The Thunder can become NBA champs on the week that Florida, does it in the NHL, and we have a Canadian. The Canadian is the guy in this game.
I've been trying to kind of think of how to describe this, and I think this is the best way to do it. The second biggest sport in the world from a participation standpoint is basketball. Okay, like soccer, they play all over the place. They wrap up a bunch of socks on dirt fields in the middle of nowhere, and they play. And outside of that, basketball is number 2. And the best player in the world, in the second biggest participation sport on earth, is a Canadian. A guy who's putting up 30 a night, a guy who's the MVP. And I know not everybody knows who Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is. But if he played in New York, there would be gargantuan billboards all over Times Square of Shai. If he was in LA, he'd be a Hollywood star. If he was in Miami, you would know him. But he's there in Oklahoma City. It's a bit of an outpost. He has everything. Forget the body control. Forget the ability to penetrate. Forget the fact that he's the face of the franchise and the rest. He's the dude. He's the man, and he's about to become a world champion. And honestly, guys, this is my hot take on this. When Shai and the Thunder do it tonight, it caps the most impressive season by a Canadian athlete in any pro sport ever.
Whoa, that's big words. I mean, I get the NBA, but any sport ever?
Gretzky, Crosby, Sinclair.
I get 50 and 39. I get it. But to me, it's the depth of field. Right? Before Shai, the back-to-back MVP was a guy from Serbia. In basketball. Mm-hmm. A guy from Cameroon recently has been the MVP. A guy from Greece recently has been the MVP. And we're not even talking about the United States. Shai just goes about it quietly. He goes about his business. And they're doing it at Oklahoma City. I don't
think it matters where he's doing it. I don't think it matters where he's doing it. I actually think there's a benefit to him being in Oklahoma City, being a Canadian kid, taking away some of that sparkle and glory that you would get from the other centers you mentioned, right? That's a little more down home feel.
No. This is why you're wrong, Sharky. This is it. This is what I mean by Oklahoma City, is that it is not an attractive free agent destination. They're not building a super team. They don't have megastars there. It is Shai, now Jalen Williams, who they drafted. But their biggest free agent signing is Alex Caruso, who looks like he could be your blackjack dealer at Casino Regina. Headband and all. Shai is the best.
Hey, hold on. You're saying that blackjack dealers at the Casino Regina wear headbands?
No, they should.
Okay.
They should. Right. You can sell a little sponsorship, get an Adidas logo.
I like it.
What I'm saying is, in the sport that's played globally, the best player in the world is a Canadian, and he's doing it without much of a supporting cast.
That I can buy.
That's why.
Okay.
Holmgren.
What's
his first name? Chet?
Who's Chet Holmgren?
So that and this is why my argument stands up, because you're like, okay, who's Robin to Batman? What's his first name again?
Hey, honest fellow here. I'm not gonna lie.
No,
I've been watching every game.
What's Marchand's first name? What's the Conn Smythe Trophy's winner first name? What's Bobrovsky's first name?
I get what you're saying. Yeah. But this homegrown guy, you should watch tonight. He is a tall, lanky string bean. And every time he falls down, I think he's over. He's broken.
It's over.
He is broken. Like, he's not very big, not very meaty, but he's like 7 foot.
But Barney, I'll give you credit. His name is Chad. Well done.
Yes.
Well done. I'm proud of you. Yes.
Nice work, Barnes.
Big basketball guy. It's our basketball report here on the cage. Okay, this just came down, and I'm going to retweet it from the Sportscage Twitter here. You being an old Minnesota Vikings fan, have you seen this fight? It just dropped. That's what I was watching. No. I was like, I got to watch this. I'm gonna tweet it out right now. People can go. Adrian Peterson, former running back.
Oh no!
An absolute fist to cuff, knuckles chucked in a poker room, and they square off. And actually, I'll give him credit. He's got a solid jaw. He has
took a pretty good one.
If he doesn't trip, if the turf monster doesn't get him there, he's okay. You're gonna have to watch this.
Was anybody in the poker room wearing a headband?
Not that we can see from here, but that doesn't mean we covered everybody.
But there's obviously sunglasses guy.
Yeah.
And sweatpants guy.
I remember asking an old GM once about off-field transgressions and just talking about the lunacy of it all. And his response to me was, occupation, football player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I got to go watch this video, too.
Thought process, minimal.
Okay, we'll go back. Let's go back to CFL here quickly. Finish a sentence. If the Riders beat the Argos this week, then
Chad Kelly starts next week, even though he's not ready. I just think they're at that point, right? Like, you're going to start 0-3. You're missing 5 starters this week. Look, you've won 2 out of 3 championships. You have a little bit of, leash here, but I just think there's going to be a little too much urgency needlessly. So I think that's my fill-in-the-blank answer to that.
Are a lot of people in and around Toronto and fans of the Argos, all of them that are carpooling, are they saying, well, this is why Nick Arbuckle was a free agent first chunk of last season?
Yeah, I don't know about Argo fans. I just think people who follow the CFL are saying, okay. Like, I think it went 100 or something days last year that Arbuckle didn't have a job. And look, what Nick Arbuckle did in the Grey Cup last year was amazing. Let's just be real with that. But the name of the game as a starter, as a franchise quarterback, is so much more and so much different than a one-game opportunity when you have 18 games of film on a defense that's only going to drop 3 and be stubborn about it. Can Nick Arbuckle win you a game or 2? Sure. Is Nick Arbuckle going to be your guy for 18 games? No chance. And I just think now we're starting to see why, going into training camp, Brian Dinwiddie said it's actually a battle for the backup job between Cameron Dukes and Nick Arbuckle. So, look, I don't think Nick Arbuckle's had a real chance to show what he can be because the Argos offensive line has been so bad. I think the Kadeem Carey release was a mistake going with Arbuckle. Like, if Chad was the guy, sure. But to have a vet running back there. So I think you kind of add all those things up and you see why they are where they are.
You say Kelly's not ready yet and they're going to push him in. How far away do you think he is from being ready?
Yeah, it's a good question, Sharky. Like, I don't know. The honest answer is I don't know. But also, it's one of those things where I was having a conversation with somebody watching. There was a Jays Day game today, and we were talking about oblique injuries. And oblique injuries, Teoscar Hernandez had one a couple of years ago, and Danny Jansen had one a couple of years ago. For like a couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks, you have to wait for it to heal so it won't get worse. Then it's like, what can you play through? And where are you to just make sure that you can perform at a decent enough level? I think if it were up to the Argos, they'd wait as long as possible for Chad to be healthy so he can perform at his best. I think now is the point where you're just like, okay, let's just make sure he's not going to make it worse, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, I hear exactly what you're saying, right? He's like 85%, and we can tape it up, and we can, put the Band-Aids on it.
65.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
That's risky.
That's
if
the
it's
problem,
that low.
right?
Yeah.
So when you're 2-1, you say we're going to put the player's best interest in mind. We want to make sure we're being responsible. Blah blah blah. When you're 0-3 or 0-4,
I'm not looking at their schedule, but how far away are they from their bye?
I don't know. I don't know, but here's the other part of all this. The Argos could be 0-6 and still win the Grey Cup.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
Winnipeg
true.
got there being 0-4.
The East is
Right.
What's more surprising, that the West teams are 4-0 against the East this season, or teams leading after the third quarter are 8-0?
You would think it's the second part of that, but here's the thing, guys. Already 3 quarterbacks in the league are down.
Yeah.
We're in week 3. Nathan Rourke's down. Drew Brown's down. Chad Kelly's down. I think what we're seeing here is that, and we talk about the long snappers, 3 long snappers are down. It's attrition, and we're not even close to Canada Day yet. So it's one of those weird things. We talk all off season, right, about the starting quarterback. Great. I keep reminding everybody who your number 2 and number 3 is more important. The Ottawa Redblacks.
Oh, we talk about
Think
that.
about this.
2 quarterback
Think about
league.
this. The Ottawa Redblacks in week 3 are starting their 3rd different starting quarterback.
That's a tough spot to be in. That's a very tough spot to be in.
Okay, let's leave with this, because we've got to go to break here. But how about the over-under at 50.5 for that Red-Black Stamps game? That could be a 6-3 football game.
Did you say 50.5?
Yeah.
Okay, I got to go because I got to go to check something on my phone.
All right. See you, buddy.
Thanks, Arash. Oh,
See you, boys.
here's the video.
Here's the fight. Here's the fight,
here it is.
Arash. Here it is.
Okay,
So
Adrian.
they're
Adrian
gonna-
pushing with his left.
They're gonna try
There's no
and break it
broadcast
up.
restrictions on this.
Finally, this guy's like, just
Uh-oh.
let him go, and it's like, okay, here we go. They square off here. They get a couple in, and then it's like, watch this when he takes in the jaw right here. Come on now. Boom.
Ooh.
So yeah, if you're not watching the video, we're kind of do play by play.
Who's the idiot trying to get into fisticuffs with Adrian Peterson? How
I don't
stupid
know.
do you have to be?
Well,
Yeah.
Adrian Peterson is a football player. It wasn't like it's not like he's out there fighting Dave Semenko. So
Right.
try your luck. Hey, go place that bet, buddy. We'll talk to you next week.
Look forward to it.
Thanks, boys.
See ya.
Coast to Coast with Arash Madani for Brian Gawley. Smart investing solutions. Be smart with your money and call Brian Gawley. NASCAR report and the clutch performer coming up. It is the Sports Cage. Thanks to everyone, Colson says, who's watching through sportscage.com on the YouTube and hitting that like button. And as always, we're on the mighty 620 CKRM.
620 CKRM is your home to country's greatest hits and the 90s at 9. 1 full hour featuring the biggest hits of the 90s. Garth, Reba, Alan, Shania, George, and so much more. No cassette tape or CDs required, and 90s mullets are optional. 90s at 9 for the town of Wolseley and the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM. 620 CKRM on location.
And a good afternoon. Colin Lundquist at the controls, watching the thunderstorm watch, getting reports of some vicious weather on that Bean Fate, Alameda, Estevan area, so be careful out there. Foam Lake Recreation Combine Lottery is underway. We got the sun here in Foam Lake. The sun is shining. We're into the final push for the early bird draws coming up on Monday. The deadline is 8 o'clock tonight, so don't wait any longer. Get to the phone, Give us a call. We'll hook you up with a ticket or two, and we've got a chance for you to win some big money. How about $250,000 for a one-ticket purchase? Could win you $250,000, $250,000. We got the Combine cash. We got a massive 50-50. Winner share should be around $130,000, $140,000. Ask about those super packs, 10 for $100, and get your tickets. Early bird deadline tonight, 8. 1-888-453-1998. 1-888-453-1998.
On the farm, dirt doesn't just get under your fingernails. It runs through your veins. Your equipment is just as tough. You bought it for its rugged dependability and efficient operation. To keep your machinery running as good as the day you bought it, you want genuine AGCO parts, fluids, and filters from Nick Service. Their friendly parts staff has what your equipment needs to keep it running at the top of its game. Keep it genuine at Nick Service, your local genuine AGCO parts headquarters.
The ball is snapped. He scans the field. He's going deep. What a play! Rider fans, make your own great play by going to riders5050.ca. You can now buy tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can also sign up for the 50-50 Club and never miss a draw, including the weekly loyalty and early bird prizes. All proceeds support amateur football in Saskatchewan, equipping the heartland, and just maybe score a big win. Get your tickets today at riders5050.ca and go Riders! Riders 50-50 is presented by ISC.
Another one bites the dust? What a weird saying. Are they swallowing the dust? And why is it so dusty in the first place? So many questions, but what I don't question is where I get my tires. When your vehicle needs the right tires, see your local Cooper tire dealer. Your local Cooper tire dealer carries Cooper Cobra Instinct tires. They bring your car to a shorter stop on wet roads and have decisive maneuvering and sporty performance. Dust yourself off and ask your local Cooper tire dealer about Cooper Cobra Instinct tires today.
It'll be take me out to the ball game or take me down to the rink before you know it. And Extreme Hockey and Sport will have you ready for everything this season. You'll be all set for the ball diamond with team kits, bats, gloves, accessories, and training products in stock. And of course, they've got everything to get you geared up for spring hockey. Whatever your spring sport is, Extreme Hockey has you covered. 1425 McIntyre Street and the Pro Shop, conveniently located at the Cooperator Center.
It's finally returned. 0% financing is back at Capital Ford. That's right, interest rates are low and inventory is high, just like the good old days. Check out the 2025 Escape, Bronco Sport, or the best-selling F-150 and get 0% financing over 72 months, OAC. Plus, Cash for Clunkers is back. That means a guaranteed $2,500 trade when you buy with us. So what are you waiting for? Get into your brand new truck or SUV at Capital Ford Lincoln in Regina.
You say
move,
and your cows say you tell them
your water is right over there,
and they say you can't convince a cow to move to the water, so move the water to the cows with a Keln Solar Livestock Watering System. With a Keln Solar Livestock Watering System, you can put your pump pretty much anywhere without the cost of hooking up to the grid. Learn more about the Keln Solar Livestock Watering System at kelnsolar.com. Keln Solar, we move water.
The Sportscage Clutch Performer for Nick Service in Emerald Park. Your local Massey Ferguson Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fendt dealer. Call 781-1077.
Kind of generic one for me here today, but like Clutch Performer, all the teachers and out there administration staff that are getting these grads together. Now that I'm kind of wrapped up into it here in a grade 8, I'm realizing how much work it is. And parent volunteers. You're clutching this because I've kind of been useless as a parent in our class, grade and class and school. So I'm going to give a shout out to all the parents that are helping out all the teachers.
My Clutch Performer, and we didn't get to talk about it since or today because the press conference was the day after the last show was on. But it's a Queen City Sports and Entertainment Group for taking on the Red Sox, adding that to the stable and looking to build on Regina sports scene. I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be fantastic for Regina sports and look forward to a new stadium being started soon.
There we go.
Yep.
You got inside track on that? Any inside baseball, so to speak?
A little birdie told me there's stuff in the works.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Colson, you got one?
Yeah, I got one. I just got to push my buttons here. Logan Mell, Pat Canadians.
Yeah.
Received the Adam Harold Memorial Award.
Nice.
So
nice.
going to be fully honest. Don't know what the award is. I'm assuming it's a sportsmanship thing.
It'd be a leadership thing.
Yeah.
Leadership thing? There we go.
Yep.
So
That's a good one.
Yep.
Right
Nice.
on. There's your clutch performer for Nick's Service in Emerald Park, your local Massey Ferguson Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fent dealer. Let's get into the NASCAR report.
The Sportscage NASCAR Report, where rubbin' is racing, is brought to you by Croft Electric. 27 years of trusted, reliable home, farm, and commercial service for all your electrical needs. Visit croftelectric.com and on all socials.
Here we go, Crofty. I just added the hat back on. We're ready to go. Last week, they went to Mexico City to the Aerodrome. Shane Van Gisbergen was the winner, the New Zealand driver.
Never heard of that guy before.
Well, you know what? He's really great on the road tracks, and that was a road course in Mexico City. He won the opener Chicago City road track a couple of years ago. That was his first race, and obviously won. So he's a guy to watch on the road courses and dominated there. This week, we go to the Tricky Triangle.
Yes! Poconos.
Poconos. You got it. The Poconos. Denny Hamlin is back in after taking a race off to go be with his wife in the birth of their new child. So Hamlin restarts his consecutive race start list. But I don't. A lot of guys got Hamlin as the favorite here. I'm looking to your guy, Smokey Reddick.
Bell.
Yeah, no, not Bell.
Oh.
Reddick. Reddick's going to be the guy that I'm going to watch in this one. But Hamlin is right up there. Another interesting piece that's come out of NASCAR this week is they're looking, after the success in Mexico City, they're looking at other non-U.S. tracks. And their first one they list...
Street race in Prince Albert.
No, they did not list the street race in Prince Albert. We could put that forward and see if it comes up. The Gilles Villeneuve circuit in Montreal for a NASCAR race. And I think that'd be pretty exciting.
Have you ever been to that Indy in Montreal?
No, I haven't. Or the F1. Yeah.
Or yeah, whatever it is. It's supposed to be unreal.
I've seen one Indy race. I saw the one in Vancouver years ago. It was really cool.
How long do you have to go for?
Well, you really just got to go for the race day. Like, you can just go for
the full
Sunday.
day?
Yeah.
Okay.
But, there's snacks and beers and stuff. Like, it's okay. You'll get by.
Gamble?
You can gamble. There's lots of gambling. Yeah, lots of parties, lots of party tents. VIP section. You got to get in the VIP section. You don't hang around with the riffraff.
No.
Yeah, that's where you got to be.
I'm
Anyway,
sure that's costly.
Reddick at the Poconos this weekend. That's what you want to look for.
Take Pokey's boy at the Poconos.
There you go.
It writes itself. NASCAR report always for our friends at Croft Electric. 27 years of reliable service in Regina. Again, remember the fancy lights. Rider game tomorrow. If you're walking around your neighborhood and you see some of the green and white lights, you go, "Oh, is that ever creative?"
Where'd they get those? Yeah.
No, that's Croft Electric. That's what they do.
That's what they do.
And then come Christmas time, the easiest Christmas lights you'll ever have. So call them. Anything electrical you need. Croft Electric, big supporters of local.
On another note, in 2 weeks, NASCAR's in Chicago, another street race. Our good friend Crofty will be there. Zach Brown Band is the entertainment.
Why wouldn't a Crofty?
Yeah.
Head to Chi-Town for a little Zach Brown.
Yeah. Street race. It's going to be exciting to be in Chicago. Little Wacker Avenue. That's the name of the street they drive it on.
That would be actually. I've never spent time in that town. A lot of people go there.
It's fantastic.
Yeah,
Chicago's been a blast.
With that one area or downtown or whatever is supposed to be.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Off the charts. Okay, NASCAR report. Good job.
Thank you.
Sharky. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. You got anything that you want to get off your chest? 1-866-767-0620. What do you think out there about the Riders' depth chart? Are you worried at all? I think we're fine. A little banged up on receiver.
I think we're good.
We're good. Kadeem Carey not in. If you just tuning in, Thomas Bertrand Houdon is in. It's a ratio thing. I think we're good. I like our chances. Let us know. 936-6262. Also locally in the Prairie Land Rentals text line. It is a Sports Cage on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
You've got that sweet ride just sitting there, so why not park her in the ring at the 6th Amazing Coast to Coast Collector Car Auctions live event, June 28th in Regina, and get top dollar for it. Des here from Coast to Coast Collector Car Auction, and we're going to be down at the Cali Club where we'll have local bidders and real-time online bidding from across Canada, the U.S., and Europe. Get in on the action. The Coast to Coast Collectors Car Auction returns June 28th. Details at coasttocoastauctionssk.ca.
620 CKRM on location.
And our location is beautiful Foam Lake. You come on by and check out all the amenities, and maybe a great place to raise a family or downsize and get to a small community. Small community, big heart, big lottery. It's the Foam Lake Recreation Combine Lotto. Proceeds going back into the organizations that are involved, including the golf course out at Leslie Lake. Fishing Lake, as we better know it, at Leslie Park. We've got the proceeds going to the Foam Lake Rec Center and to the Foam Lake Community Hall. We're here at the Rec Center, and they've done a lot of big work to this place. Looking good, and they're going to add more to it. Paying the bills, that's what it's all about, and just staying above the water line, keeping your head afloat. And everything is expensive these days, so that's what this lottery does. Pay the bills. We want to pay out. We want to pay you $250,000 cash, $330,000 in combine cash. Our 50-50 is now close to $100,000. That's the winner's share. 1-888-453-1998. 1-888-453-1998.
The ball is snapped. He scans the field. He's going deep. What a play! Rider fans, make your own great play by going to riders5050.ca. You can now buy tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can also sign up for the 50-50 Club and never miss a draw, including the weekly loyalty and early bird prizes. All proceeds support amateur football in Saskatchewan, equipping the heartland, and just maybe score a big win. Get your tickets today at riders5050.ca and go Riders! Riders 50-50 is presented by ISC.
The certified pre-owned vehicle demand is high and our supply is low. We need your trade-in at Capital GMC. We have 180 certified pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Be sure to check out employee pricing on all pre-owned vehicles, with rates as low as 4.99 for up to 60 months on select GM certified vehicles. And a great selection, plus 150 plus point inspection and roadside assistance. Capital GMC is the GM certified pre-owned vehicle destination at the corner of Rochdale and Pasqua in Regina, where we go the extra mile and so do our vehicles.
What's the hardest part about 7% Mike's Harder lemonade? Is it that it's not big enough to share with friends? We have a Mike's Harder 1-liter bottle for that. Is it that there's not enough flavor options? We have a 12-pack Mike's Harder mixer with 3 flavors for that. With tall cans, 1 liters, and mix packs, maybe the hardest part for Mike's Harder fans is choosing which one. When life gives you lemons, why not make Mike's Hard Lemonade? Enjoy responsibly. Must be legal drinking age.
Since 1949, Nelson Homes has been providing you one-stop shopping for ready-to-move homes, panelized packages, and on-site builds. Nelson Homes' team of authorized dealers all over Saskatchewan would be happy to help you turn your dream home into a reality. In the Saskatoon area, call Kurt at Canadian Timber Homes or call 1-800-661-6534 for more information. Nelson Homes, trusted quality and service since 1949.
With Seco Prestige, less pain equals more wow. It takes just one code to achieve true coverage and amazing results. And that's something to be proud of. Save 30% until June 25th. Seco, see color.
Text CKRM 306-936-6262. Powered by Prairie Land Rentals. From skid steers to tents to power tools, anything you need to rent for that spring or summer job is at Prairie Land Rentals. Deal with the owner. 600 Albert Street. This is Sportscage. Watch our live stream at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
What do you got now besides the brawl in Minnesota?
It's for Access Communications on Thursday. Sharky is with me. Sharky's here for Flooring Superstores in Regina. We lost a legend. Just got this on Twitter. Lost a legend from film.
Who do we lose
today? Guido Tennessee. You know exactly who he is, though.
Really?
Yeah. He played Billy Charlesboy for the Charlestown Chiefs on Slapshot.
Billy Charles.
Come on, Billy Charlebois. But then the guy said,
Billy
Chiefs defenseman Billy Charlesboy, who hails from, and then everyone else knows the rest.
Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan.
Yeah, so he passed away today. He was it's the one. He's in the club and they're dancing and he's in his bad suit. So Kate. Prairie Land Rentals text line 936-6262. Some 204 numbers are coming in and trying to stir the pot here. About it is a trap game. The Riders lose in Toronto this weekend. One guy, Ma is what he goes by. Ma. He said, "Classic trap game. Riders aren't that good. They go into Toronto and lose."
No. What's he talking about?
Yeah, no, I think he's a little off his rocker. Then another 204 basically just taking shots at us. Now, the other thing, there is some Oiler fans coming in here and some anti-Oiler people that messaged in as well. Bev in Kipling says, you guys are a big Oiler program. Somebody else was busting us about that. It's like, yeah, well, go Flames, go Jets, whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't really have a team.
When your team's playing, we'll cheer them on as well.
I don't have a team. But it's funny that I was going to bring this up with the Rash. Now, the one thing that for me, just me personally, and there was a lot of this the other day, it's like, oh, good for Florida and their 10,000 fans. Good for Florida and their 20,000 fans. Because that's like the first stage of anger when it comes to your team losing, maybe, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, there are over 6 million people that live in the Miami and Fort Lauderdale area. 6 million. There is, I think, under 2 in the Toronto or in the Edmonton.
Yes.
When you factor everything in.
Yeah. And that
Under
would be
2.
going like Fort McMurray to Grand Prairie. Yeah.
It's just the classic Canadian. We don't have self-worth. It's like we have to now say, but we are Canadian. We support our teams.
There's more of us.
We support our team. Who cares? Look, you and it's like, yeah, you live in Florida. What do you know about hockey? Is that really a cut down? That was another thing that I'm seeing.
Yeah.
It's like,
What do you think Americans run around and go, we don't know anything about baseball?
And that, see, there was actually somebody that I quite respect talking about just how Americans and not knowing the game and all that. I'm like, playing down there, I got it. I went down with the cocky Canadian. Then Boston.
But that's how many years ago?
Detroit, Alaska. Like they love Minnesota.
Yeah.
They love hockey. They get hockey. That Boston area, come on. That's
crazy.
Maine,
it's
all the
huge.
New England.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not about that in Florida, where hockey is gone, both of those markets there.
It's enormous. And don't think there's only 20,000 fans there. There's only 20,000 in the rink. There's way more fans for both of those teams in Tampa and Florida or in Miami than you can imagine, right? And supporters of those teams beyond those borders as well.
And it's like, oh, they're just cheering for them because they're in the final. So?
Yeah. It's the reason nobody's cheering for Calgary or Winnipeg right now.
You don't have to be like hardcore and just because they're down there. I've never got it. I've always been like, that's why the whole Canada, we haven't won the cup since 93. We got to bring it home, lay it on the line, Boston Pizza commercials. I don't get it. Whatever. There's lots of Canadians on that team. Come Olympics next year. All right. Yeah,
let's jump on that bandwagon.
Now we're cheering.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's okay for me. I am not. Yeah. I'm not the most super patriotic guy in the last 12 years either. So maybe that's a thing.
Because neither was our prime minister.
No, do you feel? Are you on the other side? Are you like, no, yeah, like they don't have many fans.
No, I think there's fans of teams all over the place, right? I disagree with that totally, and I think there are people that become bigger fans because your team's more successful, right? If your team's winning all the time, you'll have more and more fans, and more people will jump on that bandwagon. I think in an area of Miami, which is, like you said, 6 million people, there's probably literally 500,000 that are following the Florida Panthers on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Without a doubt. I'll bet you there's more that are following the Panthers than the Florida Marlins baseball team.
Yeah,
because they're so bad. Or the Tampa Bay Rays.
So if you, like, I'm just, and if some people need that to look down or to make fun of them because they don't know much about it, and I don't need to do that. I could care less. Good for you. Hey, support your team. If all of a sudden we had a basketball team, and I'm not the biggest basketball guy, but I would jump on, like, I'm talking like locally. If it was, I'd jump on it. Yeah, I'm a casual fan, but I'm there. It's just not something that I follow constantly. I'd love to play it.
You don't get upset very often. You're very mild-mannered.
Am I?
Yeah, you're very even-keeled.
Thanks.
Yeah, you've got control of your emotions. This is an emotional moment for you.
No, it isn't. You definitely don't know me then. But I thought it was funny in some of the text messages, and we're getting some in here where it's like
they've only got 20,000 fans.
We need our self-worth now to say, hey, but we're Canadian and we have more fans, and who cares?
Yeah, Florida's a really good hockey team and well coached and played with a lot of heart.
I can't believe Toronto took them to 7.
Yeah, it kind of seems odd now, doesn't it? Yeah.
Crazy. Colson's telling us we got a break. We're coming back, a little ticker action, and we're going to talk to Brian Raymond. It is the Sports Cage on 620 CKRM.
Been there, done that. We get it. And we've got something great for you. The Great Bin Giveaway on 620 CKRM. We're giving you the chance to win a 100-ton fertilizer bin from Core Grain. All you have to do is be listening to find out which sponsor locations you can enter at, all across southern Saskatchewan. You'll also have some chances to qualify during Saskag Today with Ryan Young. The grand prize draw will take place at Egg in Motion this July. Don't miss out on your chance to have a shot at the Great Bin Giveaway.
Brought to you by Ag Direct Hail Insurance, Zipperlock Building Company, McDougall Auctioneers, Redvers Agricultural Supply, and 620 CKRM.
620 CKRM on location.
And we are located in Foam Lake, just watching the tornado around the Oxbow area on the ground, and we do have a touchdown in that area. So if you're around the area of Oxbow, be on the lookout for tornadoes. Foam Lake Recreation Combine Lottery underway right now. We're going to wrap things up at 8 o'clock tonight for the early birds only. So we got 64 draws. 33 of those draws are for the early bird, including that 2025 Chevy Trailblazer. You want to get your ticket in for that draw. That's a big payout. And those 50-50 tickets, they're going for $100 for 10. So that's the super pack. And our 50-50 is almost at $100,000 winner's share. That's what the winner takes home. And that's a nice little 50-50. By the time all's said and done, they're expecting $130,000, $140,000. Visa, MasterCard, early bird deadline tonight at 8. Get on it. Giddy up. 1-888-453-1998. 1-888-453-1998.
What's going on in the markets? When is the right time to invest? What should you do with your money today? When Margaret had questions, she talked to Brian Golly.
He's very personable, professional, and keeps you confident in what he's doing.
You don't have to plan your financial future alone. Call Brian Golly of Smart Investing Solutions. 306-546-2533.
I would not hesitate to recommend him to friend, relative, or anybody else.
Get it hot, get it fast, Western Pizza.
There's nothing to make or eat at home for supper tonight, and I'm starving. What's in the fridge? That old casserole from last month? Mac and cheese? No, I had that for breakfast. What about the pantry? That canned fish stuff? Ugh, this is no way to live. Wait! I'll order Western Pizza. That is a way to live.
Western Pizza. Big on toppings, big on taste. Dine in or take out. Order today.
And get it hot, get it fast, Western Pizza.
The
ball is snapped. He scans the field. He's going deep. What a play! Rider fans, make your own great play by going to riders5050.ca. You can now buy tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can also sign up for the 50-50 Club and never miss a draw, including the weekly loyalty and early bird prizes. All proceeds support amateur football in Saskatchewan, equipping the heartland, and just maybe score a big win. Get your tickets today at riders5050.ca and go Riders! Riders 50-50 is presented by ISC.
If you've got a Steelcraft garage door, you've got a door with parts manufactured and assembled right here in Canada. A door with better insulation and seal, plus a warranty you're probably never going to use. And if you don't have a Steelcraft garage door, you should get one. Don't just hang a door, install a Steelcraft. Turn curb appeal into curb envy.
Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door. We offer more.
Steel-craft.ca.
So, since that little ding on my car last week, I don't know where to take it. I don't even know.
That's easy. Take it to Regina Motor Products.
Who said that?
I did. Down here. I'm Terry the Tire. Regina Motor Products Chevrolet Collision Center and SGI accredited auto body repair is a full-service collision and body shop that works on all makes and models. Just submit your claim to SGI and set an appointment to get your appraisal done. Easy.
I bet you're tired after saying all that.
South at Highway 1 and 6, Albert Street. RMPChevrolet.com.
They seem so innocent, so little, so tiny, until they gather up about 400,000 of their friends and then fall from the sky with the force of 1 million half-ton trucks. When those little white balls of hate swing by your farm, you'll be happy you have Co-op Hail Insurance. Affordable rates and adjusted claims are paid out quickly. There are 400,000 reasons to count on Co-op Hail Insurance. Contact your local Co-op Hail agent or use their online buy direct option at coophail.com.
Country Corner is brought to you by EMF Market Mall. Open Thursday to Sunday at 1217 Broad Street. Look for EMF Market Mall on Facebook.
The 6th annual Coast to Coast Collector Car Auction is Saturday, June 28th at the Cowley Curling Club in Regina. For more information, visit coasttocoastauctionssk.ca. Indian Head Parade Days are happening June 28th and 29th. Enjoy a weekend full of fun, including the parade, family activities, antique market, and live music. Full details at townofindianhead.com. And the Thunder on the Prairie's modified truck and tractor polls are July 4th and 5th in Odessa. Monster truck rides, show and shine, heavy horse polls, and bands playing Friday and Saturday night. Look for Thunder on the Prairies on Facebook.
For more information, visit 620ckrm.com. Welcome back to Sportscage. Get social with us. Follow us on X at Sportscage. Watch our video stream at sportscage.com and always on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Welcome back to the show. Let's talk some golf. Go out on the Western Pizza guest hotline, and we are joined by Brian Raymond from Flowing Springs Golf Course. Brian, here we go again. Another, it looks like, I haven't been outside in about 2 hours though. Looks like it's a nice evening to tee it up.
It's absolutely gorgeous out here. I know we had a bit of a shower earlier, but it's nice. The wind's died down, and it is nice and sunny and warm.
Brian, the best part of your golf course some days for a guy like me is the driving range. You know that. That's where I should spend most of my time. Let's talk about that driving range and all the keys to it.
Alrighty. So the driving range is available to absolutely everyone. That's the first thing you need to know. You don't have to be a member of the golf course. You don't have to make a booking to use our driving range because it is immense. There's room for at least 50 people out there. And it's all grass, no mats. So you don't have to worry about damaging your clubs. And we have target greens up there and a practice chipping green as well. So you just have to come to the clubhouse, get a code for the ball machine, and away you go.
Like it. Okay. Take this bad swing of mine out there and see if we can fix it.
The other thing about mats, too, he talks about damaging clubs sometimes and all that. I damaged my knee hitting a lot on mats. Dead serious.
Yeah, no, it's you're right. I mean, there's a lot to be said for playing off natural turf.
And then, so next week, we got the 28th, Saturday. We got people are going to be driving in because Saski's at home. We got a Rider game. It's always good to book in advance. People want to get a tee time. They should be calling now and take advantage maybe of a special or two.
Well, that's right. We book a week in advance, so don't hesitate to give us a call or book online. But yes, usually when Rider games are here on the weekend, we do tend to get a little busy, and we do get some folks who bring their sticks with them when they come down for the Rider game and are staying overnight.
And what about the leagues? Love the leagues out there.
Okay, we have a men's club that plays every Tuesday at 4:30, and we have a senior league that people over 50, we call it a senior league, but it's not really. But if you're over 50 and you're interested in playing with a bunch of like people and you have time during the week, every Tuesday and every Thursday, our senior league plays at 7:30 in the morning.
Awesome stuff. All right, Brian, if people are going to come out tonight, grab for $22 and walk the golf course after 6 o'clock, just call you?
Just give us a call. We'll take your booking for sure, and we got lots of room. So we sometimes throw people out on the back too to get their 9 holes in. So it's not a problem.
Nice. Right on. Phone number 543-5050.
That's correct, and you can book online at flowingspringsgolf.com.
Right on. Thanks, Brian.
Thanks, Brian.
All right, have a great weekend. Go Riders.
Yeah, Flowing Springs Golf Course. All right, quickly to Sports Ticker, Colson.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Extreme Hockey and Sports. Whatever your sport is, Extreme Hockey has you covered.
Riders released a positional chart early this morning. No Kadeem Carey in the lineup as they get set to take on the Argos. We start things here at 2:30 tomorrow afternoon with the Rider Broadcast Network. Western Canadian Baseball League tonight. Energy City Cactus Rat fans, you're lucky because your team's in town taking on the Regina Red Sox at Curry Field. First pitch, 7 o'clock. Swift Current plays host to Moose Jaw, Sylvan Lakes, and Weyburn and Saskatoon is in Medicine Hat. Blue Jays swept Arizona today. Computer refresh. Well, anyways, they swept them. Score. NBA, OKC, and Canadian Shai Gilgeous-Alexander looking to win the NBA championship tonight against Indiana. They're up 3-2 in that. That is your sports ticker for Extreme Hockey and Sport, whatever your spring sport is. Extreme Hockey and Sport, they now have the new Bauer Flylight gear as well. Skate, sticks, all that. Oh, that's hot stuff for the kids. Extreme Hockey and Sport, local, and have always been local. Hour 3 coming up. We got Jessica Campbell. We got Farhan Lalji, and a whole lot more. It is the Sports Cage on 620 CKRM.
We are 620 CKRM, a Harvard media station. Streaming online at 620CKRM.com.
It's 5 o'clock. Good evening. I'm Corey Atkinson from the SaskToday.ca newsroom with your 620 CKRM news for Echo Sound in Fort Qu'Appelle. Stay connected with the new cell phone from Echo Sound. Call 306-332-6711. We start with the weather, where Environment Canada has issued a severe thunderstorm watch for much of southern and southeastern Saskatchewan. Cities like Regina, Saskatoon, Estevan, Weyburn, and Yorkton are included. A low-pressure system could bring strong winds, hail of up to 4 centimeters, and heavy rain. Thunderstorms might start later this afternoon and move into Manitoba by evening. The risk of severe weather is expected to ease later tonight. Rain fell across many parts of Saskatchewan last week, according to this week's crop report. Saskatchewan Agriculture's Matt Struthers says one area even saw some flooding.
Lots of parts of the southwest, west central, and up into the north did get some good rains. Unfortunately, some areas, such as the Meadow Lake area, got about 64 millimeters over the week, which is a lot of rain over a pretty short amount of time, so it's led to a little bit of flooding.
Even with the rainfall over the past week, Struthers says topsoil moisture conditions continue to decline provincially. Moose Jaw could soon become a major hub for artificial intelligence. Carpair Canada has revealed a $485 million plan to redevelop the old Valley View Centre into a site called Carpair Valley. The project includes a large AI data centre, greenhouses, and healthcare services. Renovations could start in late 2025. The project may create over 1,000 jobs. The site has 150 acres, and the developers plan to use 100 of them while keeping the land's natural beauty. Prime Minister Mark Carney says that while Canada and the United States are actively working towards a new trade deal within the next 30 days, he says we need to protect the steel and aluminum workers in the country. Carney announced that Canada will take steps to protect the industry. That includes counter-tariffs and protectionist policies. He says negotiations are ongoing.
There is still some room to travel, so to speak, before we get to that point, but we have a deadline in order to achieve that, and if it's in Canada's interest, we'll sign it. If it's not, we won't.
Among the measures, Carney says Ottawa will introduce new rules that will limit federal procurement to using steel and aluminum from Canada and reliable trading partners. Reach volunteers packed 87 special food baskets this week to honor National Indigenous Peoples Day. Each box includes traditional Indigenous food such as wild rice, bannock mix, and Labrador tea. The project was done in partnership with the Saskatchewan Indian Institute of Technology and supported by local food suppliers. The baskets will be delivered through the Cosmopolitan Learning Centre. Reach also runs regular weekly food programs to help people in Regina access healthy, affordable meals. And a special event at Moose Jaw's Canadian Superstore celebrated Italian Heritage Month in a big way. Staff took part in a nationwide attempt to set a Guinness World Record by cracking open wheels of Parmigiano Reggiano. Around 1,800 wheels were cracked across 400 stores. Store manager Leslie Ross in Moose Jaw says the event honored Italian food traditions and gave customers a unique and fun in-store experience. That was your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
Way to go, Travis Kelce. I mean, son.
As fun as it is watching your 5-year-old run the wrong way or pick dandelions on the football field, what if I told you you could watch your favorite sports or shows on the go anywhere? Well, you can with MaxStream TV from EchoSound, your SaskTel authorized dealer. Take MaxStream anywhere you go.
Oh, wrong way, buddy.
MaxStream and great internet plans available at EchoSound, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Fort Capel, echosound.ca.
Let's get out on the water. Now is the best time of year to buy a boat or pontoon at Kevin's Marine. Cast a line in a Lund fishing boat. Take the family out on a Four Winds boat. Or head out on a pontoon by Harris or Crest. Powered by Mercury Motors at the lowest prices of the year. There are manufacturer's rebates, dealer discounts, and low payment financing on a great selection of boats and pontoons. Plus Shoremaster aluminum docks and lifts. Kevin's Marine in Fort Capel. Enjoy your summer. Get out on the water. Stop by or shop online at kevinsmarine.com.
Weather brought to you by Line X Regina, serious protection, killer looks. 1865 McCarra Street. And Croft Electric, 27 years of trusted, reliable home, farm, and commercial service for all your electrical needs. CroftElectric.com, and you can find them on all socials.
A severe thunderstorm watch once again for the evening hours tonight. Showers very isolated. Most of the activity away from the Regina area, but that risk is there that we get a shower popping up. Anything that does dies down quickly, and a partly cloudy sky takes hold through the night. Temperature down to around 13. Mostly sunny, 22 for the high on Friday. The spotty shower threat begins to return Friday night, but we're not looking at the same kind of energy that we've got with this severe threat. It's going to be mostly lighter showers. There could be a fair amount of moisture over the course of a couple of days, but not getting into the thunderstorms. More of a first spotty shower event and then scattered showers, meaning a little more widespread, light to moderate intensity, and then occasional more widespread showers, even some steady rain possible. Saturday night, taking a break and then picking back up on Sunday. Temperatures in the teens for the weekend, 19 on Saturday, 14 on Sunday, and spotty showers linger Monday, high 16. With your 620 CKRM weather forecast, I'm Precision Weather Meteorologist Phil Spivak.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street.
He's at it again. Matt's sharpening his pencil to save you money at Matt's Furniture. Now till June 25th, save on the largest capacity French door refrigerators with Whirlpool. Get the 36-inch French door refrigerator with interior filtered water dispenser for just $18.99. Or upgrade with the ice maker for $2,099. Check out the Whirlpool 47 dBA dishwasher with third rack for just $8.99. And see the selection of Whirlpool microwaves and electric ranges. Matt's Furniture in Fort Capel, Kamsack, Melville, and Foam Lake. Or online at mattsfurniture.ca.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Access Communications, trusted in rural Saskatchewan for internet, TV, and home security. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sportscage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Welcome back. Hour 3 of the program for Access Communications today. Sharky's over there working hard on the other side. You've been really in and out today, so I'm glad that you're back now.
Thank you.
Hanging it all in. Almost matching shirts for us.
Logoed shirts, I like that.
Yep. No Sportscage tomorrow because the Riders are playing. And, interesting one. In Toronto, Dave Thomas earlier in the show talking about all the injuries that Toronto has. So with no suits today and no show, he's like, we got to get in
a lot of stuff.
Our man Farhan Lalji from TSN, and it is for cooperators. Here we go with our guy.
It's time to get the inside story. TSN's Farhan Lalji on Sportscage is brought to you by the Cooperators. Time to get financially fit? Cooperators can build a plan that works for you. Cooperators, investing in your future together.
All right, Farhan, you're with the Lions. But let's talk about Riders and Argonauts here. Like Dave Thomas dropped it on us earlier. I had no idea the Argos are this banged up. The Riders going in there, and no Kadeem Carey. It's a ratio thing, but it's a little bit shocking.
Yeah, I was surprised that Kadeem wasn't going to be a part of this one, just to get a chance to go back and play against Toronto. And I get the ratio thing with the other injuries that this team has, and Saskatchewan, when you think they're banged up and they lose somebody like, Kean Schaefer-Baker, and then you lose Sam Emelis, and that forces you to change your ratio, and you think, oh, they're in trouble. But then you look at Toronto roster and the number of changes there, it's amazing. And, talking to people in Toronto after week 1, there really wasn't any level of panic. I think they realized this is a marathon, not a sprint, and they told me that, I remember the first week of the season, I think all the East teams that were playing the West team lost. So they just said to me that no one in the East is running away from anybody. If we go 0-3, we're just fine. We're not going to worry about it. So they want to make sure that when they get Chad Kelly back, they get him right. And when they get him right, they get a good team around him, right? And if that means that you take a little bit of time because you got a banged up offensive lineman or you got a banged up receiver, they not only want to get him back healthy, they want to get him back with the right people around him. So when I look at this game, and those are big losses for Saskatchewan at receiver, there's no doubt. But at the end of it all, you still have Trevor Harris, and you still got a pretty good defense that's healthy. I'll take the Riders all day in this one.
And Thomas Bertrand-Houdon, like the last game he played, a little bit of a coming out party. You and I talked about it. We talked about it a number of times. So, having him in there, it's not like it's a bad thing for the Riders.
No, for sure. I mean, he's shown that he can play, right? And you want to make sure that you've got a rotation and the two of them can play, and having two imports in that spot tends to be a bit of a luxury. But you're right, Houdon can play. I know that first week he got a little bit banged up, and fortunately he came out of it where he could continue to play. But we're seeing Canadian running backs around the league. The game I've got here, Matthew Peterson is still going to be the starter for Winnipeg in that game, and it's pretty impressive that there's just more and more of these guys out there, and when given an opportunity, they find ways to perform.
It's interesting you talk about the opportunity, and I think that's really critical as you look at not only the Canadian running backs, but we're seeing Canadians playing more dominant positions all the time. Used to be it was offensive linemen. Get the big hoggies in there, fill your Canadian spots that way, maybe a safety. With Saskatchewan, we got a cornerback, we got a linebacker, we got a running back, we got them all over the place. What do you think has caused that development, Farhan? What do you think has brought that on for these guys?
I just think that players are being developed at a higher rate. Canadian players, you're finding guys choosing football, number one, and making efforts. You see guys at an earlier age that wind up making their way down to the U.S. so they can get developed down there with hopes of potentially earning a Division I scholarship. And not all of those guys, even when they play Division I, are going to wind up in the NFL. So you're getting guys there that are available at a higher level, right? But U Sports is doing more. You talk about U of S and U of R, getting better. And Guelph has 7 full-time coaches. UBC does a good job out here. The OUA is a really dynamic conference now with great rivalries and good committed programs. So I just think more and more the commitment level, whether you're a Canadian kid that chooses to go to the U.S. in high school and then plays in the U.S. or a guy that winds up staying in U Sports, and you might be more of a late bloomer, you're going to get good development options. So guys come into this league ready. Like Look at Matthew Peterson. That was his first game of professional football ever.
Wow.
He got drafted, goes back to university for a game, and then shows up, and Brady Oliveira gets injured, and he goes off for 130 yards on 23 carries. Like, it's crazy. So the guys can play. It's a good thing because we're losing more players, more Canadian players to the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
So I know people want to use that as an excuse to change the ratio, but the truth is the Canadian players that are still left to play in the CFL are better than they've ever been.
I agree with you 100%, and I agree with you about the youth sport development and that continued avenue for those players to get better, and like I say, more full-time coaches and more full-time commitments from those schools. As we go into this week,
you look at the Riders and what they've committed to the U of R to get that program at a high level. It's amazing. And then you go check out that facility in Saskatoon for the U of S. It's as good as anything in youth sports. It's outstanding. You can't not get better in those settings.
And even one of the coaches now with the Riders, young Josh Donnelly, was with the Rams, the U of R Rams last year. Mm-hmm. Now he's up with the Riders contributing. That, to me, that tells you as much about the coaching development as it does about the player development.
Yeah, and that was always a concern, when they started a spring league in the U.S., that there would be a level of brain drain from Canadian coaching, and I don't think that's happened. And, even a guy like Jason Hogan in Winnipeg, right, who's getting his first chance to coordinate at the professional level, kind of coming up through those college ranks. And there's other guys around the country, like in Saskatchewan, you've got a young guy named Jordan Linnon, who's one of the assistant coaches on Corey Mace's staff. Just a Canadian-born, bred, developed guy that's going to turn into a great coach in this league. And what Corey Mace is doing as a Canadian coach. So giving opportunities for those guys at that level is also a really good thing.
I want to switch topics a little bit. I want to take us off the CFL. You might have to change your background behind you there as we go. But Abbotsford Canucks up 2-1 in the Calder Cup Championship. I looked through their roster. I didn't recognize a lot of Vancouver Canucks being sent down to participate. So it's a good thing that there's a great team behind them that's going to come in and fill some holes there.
Truly, I think you're saying that because you probably didn't pay a lot of attention to the Canucks because they were so damn bad this year. So I don't blame you. But a lot of these guys actually have had significant cups of coffee with the Canucks all season. Whether it was a guy like Max Sasson or Linus Karlsson or, Archie Baines had a couple of runs up here. So, and the only one they didn't paper down early enough in the process was Elias Pettersson, the defenseman, who could have been a part of this run as well. But they're doing well without him. And even a guy like Jonathan Lekramaki, who was a high pick from the Canucks a couple years ago, can't get into the lineup right now. And he spent most of the year in Vancouver. So it's good that as bad as the big club has been, some of these guys are getting developed, right? Like the development process with Vancouver is good, and it's critical because they don't draft much, right? High in the draft. They trade all their picks. So when you do that, you've got to find a way to extract value from guys that you get in the building. And, the town in Abbotsford is totally bought into it right now. I mean, attendance was up and down during the season, but they're all in on this playoff run, and it's pretty cool to watch. And Manny Malhotra as well has done a fabulous job.
Yeah.
Because there was a time when they had so many guys in Vancouver because of injuries, and in the midst of that, they go on a 13-game win streak during the season. So for him to do what he's done, I mean, this Charlotte team, they swept their previous two series coming into this, and here's Abbotsford up 2-1 in the Calder Cup final.
Farhan Lalji joining us for the Cooperators here on the Sportscage. All right, it was our poll question on sportscage.com today. I'll ask you, Connor McDavid, does he win a Stanley Cup? And does he win a Stanley Cup with the Oilers, or does he win a Stanley Cup with somebody else?
I think Connor McDavid's going to win a Stanley Cup. Is it going to be with the Oilers? It's hard to say. So I'm curious to see what happens in this contract. Everybody believes he's going to re-sign with Edmonton, but does it turn into a Austin Matthews 4-year deal, right? Where he can just say, look, I'm committed, but I still want to have a little bit of time at the end of my career if it doesn't go the way I want, right? So I can see that happening, but for all the flaws on the Oiler roster, and truthfully, I think they were better this year than they were last, especially on the back end. I don't know how they got to the final last year with that blue line, but I think they were collectively better, even with Ekholm not being the same guy with the injury. I think it was a better roster this year, a deeper roster this year, but they still are a ways to go to beat Florida. But for me, anytime you have McDavid and Draisaitl, you're going to be in the conversation. Might Edmonton take a step back a year from now? Step back might be 2 playoff rounds, right? But eventually they're just going to constantly be knocking on the door with those 2 players. And, look, I'm not an Edmonton guy. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. And I'm glad they lost so that we can talk about the CFL in that market more because we needed it, right? But I want to see McDavid win a cup. I don't want him to be that guy that's the best player never to win. So one day he's going to win one.
Yeah, okay. Back to the CFL to end it off. What game intrigues you this week?
Wow. Throw them at me. Give me a reason. I know I picked a bunch of the road teams
Winnipeg,
to win.
BC? No? Montreal, Edmonton. I'm curious about Montreal, Edmonton.
Yeah.
No?
Little
Fajardo cleanup work?
I got asked about this the other day from an Edmonton station about what was going on in Calgary. And I feel that Calgary is taking advantage of a really soft schedule right now, right? When you get to play Toronto with Nick Arbuckle and they got to play Hamilton at home in week 1, whereas Edmonton's got a real tough schedule and playing Montreal and Saskatchewan in the next 2 weeks, that's going to be tough. I can't see them winning either of those 2 games. So, never say never, but I think Montreal's winning that one.
So you think Ottawa, Calgary?
That one interests me. Now, again, Drew Brown's not expected to play. It's probably going to be Dustin Crum in that game. So they haven't seen a mobile quarterback yet. So what does Crum do to them with Bobby Slowik's defense? And now you lose Reggie Bagleton. That's a tough one, right? They're not deep enough, I think, to withstand that. But, it just depends on what Crum can do offensively. He's had all the first-team reps this week, but, that's a team that's kind of built behind Drew Brown. They're not necessarily built to have, a quarterback taking off with a lot of designed run. Curious to see if he just takes off organically like Trey Ford does and makes things happen, because that can be a bit of a neutralizer if he gets going. So that would interest me. For BC, I like Missouli a lot, but Zach Collaros coming back and Nathan Rourke not playing, it only gets harder for the Lions, I think.
Well, no, I don't. This Calgary 3-0. Like now, if Calgary goes 3-0, like if
they can, absolutely.
Which would be a surprise to everybody.
What did they get? 13,000?
Yeah.
Then if they're 3-0, if they're a 3-0 team.
Shots fired.
I like the Montreal Edmonton game. I think that's the one that interests me. The young Montreal quarterback, seeing him continue to develop, that's what I like watching. And Edmonton, I still think has got some issues going on there. And I'm agreeing. Fajardo's going to be in there quickly.
I want to know this last thing from you is. Are you hearing it? And because a lot of people are talking about how many yards the Riders are giving up. Josh Bell, coach on earlier, kind of basically saying, don't worry about it. We're good. Anything that you're hearing, or are you looking at the Riders and how much they're giving up and worrying about that? That's kind of like the old Patriots. The Patriots used to give up tons of yards, but they just won.
Yeah, well, it's not about the yards you give up. It's about the points you give up, right? And it's how do you function in the red zone? Like, to me, there's 2 things to look at. How does a team play in the red zone? And how does a team play on second and long? Not just second down, but second and long specifically, right? Like in those situations, you need to get off the field, and Saskatchewan's doing that, right? And then in terms of how their defense plays in the red zone, they're forcing teams to kick field goals. They're not giving up a lot of touchdowns. So, Corey Masel will have them right when it matters most, as long as they stay healthy, and they've managed to on the defensive side of the ball.
All right, have a good week. We'll watch this one. We'll see if Edmonton-Montreal maybe looks to be the most intriguing matchup of the weekend. But regardless...
And I know you guys are close to Fajardo, guys, just because you had him there for a couple of years, but I don't sense that there's a quick hook coming on Trey Ford.
No, I want it because I predicted it. I just don't want to look like an absolute buffoon again. So,
again.
Yeah, hey, I said
you may get your wish. I don't think it's this week, though.
Okay, thanks, Farhan. Have a good one.
See you guys. Have a great weekend.
Take care.
From TSN, Farhan Lalji for the Cooperators here in Regina. Looking to invest. Call the Cooperators. I'm missing the tagline right here, but that's basically it. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, tomorrow's game day.
Tomorrow's game day. Yeah.
Mentioned this earlier. On game days, all participating Saskatchewan KFCs, Kentucky Fried Chicken, if you're old school. You get the End Zone Big Crunch for $4.95 and the Big Crunch Combo for $7.95. Only on Rider game days. So you go in and get your eat on at KFC. $4.95 for the End Zone Big Crunch.
Anywhere in Saskatchewan?
$7.95 participating.
Oh, they have to
locations.
They have to buy
I think most of them are.
Why wouldn't they?
Go and do it. Why wouldn't a location?
And if your location isn't participating, bring that up with them. Ask them why they don't participate on the Big Crunch.
Out front, get
That'd be a good reason to have a protest.
Like Kramer at the bagel shop. It's the Sports Cage. We're streaming at sportscage.com. We're on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM. Hey, coming up, interview with one of the first female professional hockey coaches from Saskatchewan, Jessica Campbell. It's coming up here on the Sports Cage.
Rider Nation lives on 620 CKRM. I'm Dave Thomas, voice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Tomorrow is game day as the Riders take on the Toronto Argonauts. Countdown to kickoff with Justin Duncan, Tegan Whitco's at 2:30. The pregame show's at 4:30. And kickoff with Luke Mulliner and Eyes at 5:30. Saskatchewan Roughrider football on the Cooperators Rider Broadcast Network is brought to you by Young's Equipment, GMS Insurance, and PlayNow.com. Stream every moment of Rider football at sportscage.com.
620 CKRM on location.
Good afternoon. Coming to you from Foam Lake. We got the sun shining. We got just a bit of a breeze. Good-looking day, and it's the Foam Lake Recreation Combine Lottery. Getting some tornado watches around the Regina area now. Belgoni, McLean, heck on that one. We are looking at the early bird deadline tonight at 8 o'clock. That is the cutoff. And a chance for you to win some big prizes. And I'm talking big prizes. For a small-town lottery, this thing is the go-to. It's the Foam Lake Recreation Combine Lottery. $250,000 grand prize. $250,000 for a $100 purchase. $330,000 in combine cash. And the early birds are coming up on Monday. We're going to draw for that Chevrolet Trailblazer 2025 model. If you don't want the vehicle, we'll give you cash in lieu of that. But the deadline, 8 o'clock tonight. Ask about the 50-50. 1-888-453-1998. 1-888-453-1998.
The best thing would be to never have hail. Since we can't control that, the next best thing is to write you a check when the hail comes. Municipal Hail Insurance. 3 tiers of stackable insurance, sold at cost, starting with SMHI, with accurate adjustments, timely and fair payouts. Because the best thing about us is we've been there. Municipal Hail Insurance. Farmers insuring farmers for over 100 years. Deadline for new applicants to apply for SMHI is June 30th.
I'm Bruce Lowe with Ag Direct Hail Insurance. Back in 2014, we launched Ag Direct with the goal of changing the crop hail insurance industry by combining broker-free rates with superior customer service and professional claims handling. Thanks to the support of hard-working farm families, Ag Direct Hail is now one of the largest and fastest-growing crop hail insurance providers on the prairies. Visit agdirecthail.com or call us toll-free. We appreciate your business.
Since 1949, Nelson Homes has been providing you one-stop shopping for ready-to-move homes, panelized packages, and on-site builds. Nelson Homes' team of authorized dealers all over Saskatchewan would be happy to help you turn your dream home into a reality. In the Fort Capel area, Melville, and Yorkton, call Calvin at 99 Builders or call 1-800-661-6534 for more information. Nelson Homes, trusted quality and service since 1949.
Calling all skilled heavy-duty mechanics. Core Industrial Services has an exciting opportunity for you. They're hiring a full-time heavy-duty mechanic to join them at their 9,000-square-foot shop in Rocanville, Saskatchewan. As a heavy-duty mechanic, you're responsible for performing maintenance and repairs on a wide range of equipment, from heavy machinery to light trucks and more. At Core Industrial Services, they believe in the power of teamwork. Apply today on their website at coreindustrial.ca or call them at 306-745-4844. Core Industrial Services, where expertise meets opportunity. Apply now.
If you've got a Steelcraft garage door, you've got a door with parts manufactured and assembled right here in Canada. A door with better insulation and seal, plus a warranty you're probably never going to use. Combined with a LiftMaster opener, it's the right choice. And if you don't have a Steelcraft garage door, you should get one. And a LiftMaster opener. 100% made by Canadians for Canadians. Steady, tariff-free pricing and great quality, no matter what.
Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door. We offer more.
Employee pricing has arrived at Crestview Chrysler with the 100 Years in Canada event. That means $99 per week on a new 2025 Jeep Compass. Financing as low as 0% for 72 months on select Ram 1500s. Save up to $26,000 on the new Dodge Durango Hellcat. Or get into a new 2024 Dodge Hornet for as low as $38,995. Take your pick, boss. It's employee pricing. Only for a limited time at Crestview Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Steelcraft Doors Regina, made in Western Canada for Western Canadians.
Sports Ticker this hour. The Riders, they're en route. They probably landed already in Toronto. The big news, if you are just tuning in, Kadeem Carey not in the lineup tomorrow against the Toronto Argonauts, his former team. Thomas Bertrand Houdon is back in. Sam Emilus out, so it's a whole ratio thing. We have the game. We start with the pregame show in the Rider Broadcast Network at 2:30, and then it continues from there. Tomorrow's an early one. Grab your Western pizza and pints and all that, and sit down and watch the Riders. Western Canadian Baseball League, Energy City Cactus Reds make their first visit to Curry Field, take on the Red Sox tonight, 7 p.m., first pitch. Should be a nice night for baseball.
Is that Edmonton?
It is Edmonton.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Swift Current plays host to Moose Jaw Sylvan Lakes in Weyburn, and Saskatoon traveling into Medicine Hat. Blue Jays looking for a 3-game sweep of Arizona on the field right now. My computer's not uploading, unfortunately. We'll check the score back in a bit here. And NBA tonight, OKC and Canadian Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. A chance to win the NBA championship. They have a 3-2 lead. It's back in Indiana. It should, as much as you want to watch basketball, I watch basketball when it comes to the final here. It's going to be an interesting game. That is your Sports Ticker in Hour 3 for Steelcraft Doors Regina, built in Western Canada for Western Canadians, as they get set to open up their new 40,000 square foot showroom and warehouse here in Regina. All right, so
on Park Street.
Yeah. Yep. Female hockey coaches. It's so cool where it's gone. And we're both married. Female brain is a lot of times a lot different than ours. A lot more logical. Sometimes.
What are you trying to do to us? Like, where are you going with this?
I think that and what's happening, and Cami Granato, was she the first one?
She was one of the first ones for sure.
How they can think different. And I'm sure there's a lot of data behind it now and all that. But Jessica Campbell from Saskatchewan, via Moosomin, Rocanville, Melville, all towns in between. I don't want to get anyone offended here. We had her on the Monday Nooner podcast, and there's a big golf tournament coming up, July 19th, that we talk about in the interview. So this is a snippet of it. But you just, when you're going to listen to it for the first time,
yes,
you just can't help but feel like a little bit proud for her and just being from Sask.
Well, part of the being from Sask is something to be incredibly proud of, as well as the first woman. But she's doing it in a sport that really, there hasn't been a whole bunch of crossover.
No.
Right? There hasn't been. It's not like there's 25 women coaching or 25 women in management positions or something else. Even analysts on TV, we've got a couple, but we don't have a lot. Right? We've got a couple now in the front office. It's starting to happen more and more. But to be behind the bench and to see that game at that level, that's a completely different element. And that's the thing that I think is the coolest part.
And we don't get to it in this, but if you want to go and listen to the full thing, Monday Nooner podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts, they're all free. It's about 45 minutes long. She talks about her power skating and how she got into basically COVID and kind of fluke. And then all of a sudden she's power skating with these NHLers in Kelowna, and then it just kind of progresses from there. She's taught power skating around the world.
Yeah,
she's very familiar with Europe. She played there,
she coached the German national men's team.
A great story, just really, really, really cool story. Yeah. So this is a chunk of it. Again, if you want the whole thing, you can go and download it and listen to it at the Monday Nooner podcast. But fantastic. Brandon has the first question here from the Monday Nooner as we talk to Jessica Campbell.
We're going to talk a little bit about the golf tournament you have coming up in Rocanville. I know that's a big thing for you. We'll touch on that. But I guess just first and foremost, tell us about your year in the offseason and obviously your first year in the National Hockey League. How did it go?
I mean, it was full of everything. I mean, high highs and low lows. I think I experienced everything a coach could possibly experience in their first year. Obviously, I think we are on our way in Seattle. I'm extremely grateful and privileged to be in the position that I am and get to do what I love every day. This has always been, the dream to be in the National Hockey League. So to get to show up and coach these guys, process, it's a huge, huge honor. But then at the same time, there's a job to do. And so obviously, our season didn't go, to plan. There was changes at the end of the season. So now we're kind of in another step. So I'm embracing all of the change and excited to see what we can accomplish next year, but just growing through it, and everything is experience, everything is lessons learned. And so I'm just moving forward through it and taking, as much as I can through every person and trying to be a better coach every day.
So what we like to do on our show, mainly talk to Saskatchewan folks and kind of go through the journey. Obviously, you don't just land in the National Hockey League. There's a lot of years and work that goes into it. So going back to starting out, do you remember the first time you put on skates? Like, what are your first memories in hockey?
Yeah, that was in Sask. Gosh, I think of so many different memories, but I have very clear, vivid memories just at the rink in Rocanville and Elkhorn, Manitoba. We skated there a lot because it was grid roads away from our farm. So between the two, just my parents dropped us off and we were playing tag and skating and shinny with any kid that was in the rink, whether it was 5 of us or 20 of us. I think about the Sandheims, like we grew up with those boys, playing against them and with them. And I just fell in love with being on the ice. I loved it. I loved skating. I loved any opportunity to play. And so a lot of my memories were growing up playing boys hockey through pretty much every level through Saskatchewan until I was 16 years old and took the step to the next level with the women's game and moved away from home to BC. But yeah, everything that my core makeup is built in the prairies.
And your mom, she was a player, right? She was probably one of your first coaches. Tell us about, I guess both your parents, but obviously big influences there.
Yeah, huge, huge influences. My mom, we still joke. She always reminds me that she still has eligibility left with the U of S. She was the Huskiettes back then. And she's about a year or 2 left. But no, we had the true prairie upbringing. I had 2 older brothers and older sisters. So I was the youngest of 4. My mom and dad coached kind of all of us or just showed up and volunteered. And so I was really fortunate that, my mom was behind the bench of our boys teams, opening up the gate and modeling for me in many ways, which, I look back on now, that you could do anything, and maybe in untraditional spaces or in ways. She just showed up and was a leader. She's a teacher. And she gave her time and energy in so many ways to sacrifice for us kids to do what we loved. And so, I can't think of any moments where my mom and dad didn't just fully jump on board to take us to the tournament or, like I said, drop us off at the rink to have some fun and skate and play and burn some energy. But they're huge, huge pieces in my journey. I would definitely not be where I am today had, my mom and dad not modeled what it took and the sacrifice that it would take along the way.
We ask almost everybody, especially the Sasky players that we've had and coaches, is when you go back to your parents, did they push? How were your parents, and what do you remember about them in those formative years?
Yeah, I think we had a balance of both. You speak to the 80s and 90s. I think that was what I knew too. We were pushed, and people always ask me, how'd you end up in hockey? I'm like, I don't know if I had a choice. So that might answer your question right there. I was walking and having skates on my feet at the same time. So, but I loved it. But I know my sister and I talk about this a lot because we both had college careers and we kind of laugh now as grown adults, but she has kids and we're like, well, would you have done things differently? And, for me, what I was really fortunate with my parents was just that they saw that I loved it. And so then they kind of fed it piece by piece of, hey, you have to play other sports. Like we played baseball all summer. We didn't play hockey year round. Like I never played summer hockey and traveled, to the big city and did all that. I played baseball, and that helped me as an athlete. And I think it also was a way for me to learn that you have to be more than just a hockey player. And that was something, I don't know whether my parents strategically did or not, but they still pushed us to get involved in other things, whether it was school or not. But I will say this, my mom, she's a teacher, and she's still teaching today in Rocanville. And anyone from Melville would know my mom was, billet coordinator for the Millionaires. She got her hands on everything she could to get involved with hockey. But she showed up at the gym, opened up the key to the school, and she would have us run back and forth, jump up and down. Like, we were doing little training sessions when we were 10, 12 years old. So I guess you could say she pushed us hard, but I loved it because it was something to do.
I'm supposed to ask you, what does the name Leo Parker mean to you?
You guys are hitting me with all the OGs. Well, Leo, so that's my dad's best friend. He was my first minor hockey coach in Melville. And when I say minor hockey coach, we moved from Rocanville to Melville just the year before Josh passed. And Leo was probably my first coach that I had that really instilled values in me and taught me lessons in the game. I'll never forget, I tried out for AA, which was the first opportunity with the Millionaires. This was Pee Wee. I guess we're 11, 12 years old. I was the only girl trying out, and I made the team. And our very first practice, again, I was doing other school sports, and we had a rule: no one's late. No one's late for practice. And, I remember telling Leo that I had a volleyball practice and I would be showing up, right on time. I'd be getting on the ice just on time. And I was 2-3 minutes late stepping on the ice. And this, 12-year-old kid, 11-year-old kid. And as soon as I stepped on the ice, and if anyone who knows the old Melville Stadium, like the step down to the ice is about 3 feet. Every kid falls. It was just the best thing visual back in the day. I stepped on the ice and he blew his whistle down, like hard blew his whistle down, and he lined up every kid on the goal line. He started to skate us. And then after everyone was, a few reps, stopped and said, "Why are we skating?" And it's because of Jessica, and she's late, and we have a no late rule. And that moment I still think about to this day as a coach, because I'm like, that's the standard of excellence. Like, you want to set a standard for anyone at any level, don't deviate from it. That was the expectation, whether I had an excuse or not, or communicated or not. That was the standard asked. And so I think for me, those formative years under Leo's guidance was kind of an old school way of, you're not treated any differently, so don't expect anything different. And I think that actually guided me down this path to demand, why can't I do anything that the boys can do as well? So I look to Leo every day. He came to the home opener this year. The joy and just the love and support that the Parkers have given me through my entire journey, it's next to none.
Want to be a coach, or when did you first have the thought of, okay, this is where my journey is going to take me?
Well, when I finished playing, so my journey as a player came to kind of an abrupt ending. I was one of the last cuts before the Olympic centralization, before the 2018 cycle. And so I was kind of like faced with the roadblock of what do I do from here? I was actually working for Sheldon Kennedy in Calgary, doing a lot of child advocacy work as well. And that's when I needed a change. And the coach that I actually moved to Kelowna, BC, David Roy, is a huge mentor for me, kind of showed me the way. He gave me a job and said, come to Kelowna. And I said, I'm not ready to coach. I don't even know if I want to coach. And he's like, but you're a great teacher of skating, and it was your best skill. And I was always running his camps in the summer, because as female hockey players, like, we didn't make a ton of money or really any at all. So I was always running camps and doing things to just kind of compensate my playing journey, to be honest. And so I knew I loved
I love it.
Yeah, I was hustling, and I knew I loved teaching skating. So when he said, come to Kelowna, I mean, who doesn't want to move to the Okanagan? I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. And that's when it became very clear to me, this is what I love to do. I could be on the ice 6 hours a day. My feet would be blistering and I would be so pumped to get back on the ice the next day. That's when it became very clear to me I loved coaching.
You've got this golf tournament that's coming up in July. Tell us about the idea. What made you want to do this?
So full circle, obviously, especially in this off season, this idea kind of came to fruition the last couple months. I talked to Brad Hickman, who's been a phenomenal leader in our community for many years. And I was talking with Brad. I'm like, I want to do something back home. And I think I feel very, very grateful in so many ways of all of the people back home, not just in Rocanville and Melville, but everywhere. Every community has had a piece of this journey in a way for me. And I think, when I left home to go take the step to reach another level, it wasn't about leaving Saskatchewan. It was what was right for me in that moment. And I think so many people supported me taking the untraditional route or moving away from home to sacrifice and do things a different way. And that honestly came to financial dollars. And David Roy, I bring him up again because he gave me a scholarship to move to Kelowna. He pretty much put groceries on my billet's table and paved the way for me to do it in so many ways. That's why I went back and worked for him. And that's why I'm in this position. But same things, I applied for a Potash Corporation academic scholarship when I was in high school where my dad was working. He's now retired, which is super exciting. But, I think about had I not got that support from the Potash Corp, I would never have went to Cornell University. I would never have been able to afford to. And who knows where I would have ended up as a player and as a coach. So really full circle, I think the term prairie built means a lot to me. It's a testament of community, what small towns are built on, the support of just showing up at a rink and being there for young kids to find their love for the game or for sport. And so my hope is through this event as an inaugural event, we've had so much support. Even NHL guys are jumping on board to do everything they can to help us raise funds. My hope is that we can raise and start this scholarship fund where we can now help other kids similar to where I was to take that next step, whether it's university support or an academic lift or a scholarship lift to be able to challenge themselves, whether it's in the prairies or not, it doesn't matter, but it's to help kids come out of small towns and just to testify, how being from small towns is strength and that we need to celebrate that more and more and bring some awareness to it. So it's full circle for me and it means a lot. It's definitely close to home.
Yeah, July 19th. I think there's still spots available to golf. There's still sponsorship opportunities. And the auction is like unreal, right? Like you've got a little bit of everything. You've got a lot of NHLers who have donated experiences. I see there's like a experience against the Oilers, the Jets, the Leafs, and then a best of Seattle experience. There's a lot to do in Seattle too, right? You're going to host that?
Yeah, that one you'll be stuck with me. So everyone's taken Seattle. And if the Mariners are in playoffs, we're going to add to it. That could also be another add-in, hopefully. But
that was Jessica Campbell, the 32-year-old Saskatchewan native. What a great story. The full interview, again, is at the Monday Nooner podcast. It's about 45 minutes long. That was about 12 minutes. So much more in that interview. If you want to go and listen to it, you can download it for free anywhere you download podcasts, the Monday Nooner podcast.com. Again, that golf tournament coming up July 19th in Rocanville. Does that sound like a good time? Even if you don't want to golf, go to the supper, take it all in. You can find out more at the socials of the Monday Nooner podcast. You can find out, you just search it in Google, it'll come up, Brad Hickman. If anyone knows him in and about, he can get you tickets and information, some great prizes to be won as well in the silent auction July 19th. So thanks to the Nooner guys for letting us play that, and thanks to Jessica Campbell as well. What a great story. It is a Sports Cage. We are the home of local sports in Saskatchewan. We're on 620 CKRM and streaming at Sportscage.
You stand there, hands on your hips, tears brimming while you stare at that beautiful lawn. No one understands the physical toll it takes to make your lawn this stunning except you and Barasa & Sons. Barasa and Toro have your back, literally. Toro's patented My Ride suspension features a floating rear seat and front shocks that take all the bumps so you don't. Don't wait for the grass to turn green. See the 2025 Toro lineup at ebarasa.com before they sell out. ebarasa.com.
620 CKRM on location.
And good afternoon. Soon to be the supper hour, again, going into the evening, and then we got a couple hours left. 8 o'clock, that's the deadline. Just over 2 hours to go. 2 hours and about 10 minutes to get you in on the early bird draws, and I appreciate all the phone calls. I've had phone calls from Regina, Moose Jaw, Assiniboia, Willow Bunch, Ogama, Gravelburg. Thank you so much for your involvement in this, and we'd love to get you on board as well. We can set you up with a chance to win the big early bird draw. We got the Chevy Trailblazer. That's going to be drawn for on Monday. It's a 2025 model. Has all the bells and whistles. This is courtesy of Quill Plains and Wadena. And then we're just starting for Monday at noon. We've got the gas and groceries for a year, the Riders season tickets, and 30 draws for $500 a piece. And that's just the early bird. Grand prize deadline coming up August 25th. You haven't missed out. Get yours right now. Ask about the 50-50. 1-888-453-1998. 1-888-453-1998.
Since 1949, Nelson Homes has been providing you one-stop shopping for ready-to-move homes, panelized packages, and on-site builds. Nelson Homes' team of authorized dealers all over Saskatchewan would be happy to help you turn your dream home into a reality. In the Radville-Weyburn area, call Darren and Claude at South Sask Builders. Or call 1-800-661-6534 for more information. Nelson Homes, trusted quality and service since 1949.
If you've got a Steelcraft garage door, you've got a door with parts manufactured and assembled right here in Canada. A door with better insulation and seal, plus a warranty you're probably never going to use. Combined with a LiftMaster opener, it's the right choice. And if you don't have a Steelcraft garage door, you should get one. And a LiftMaster opener. 100% made by Canadians for Canadians. Steady, tariff-free pricing and great quality, no matter what.
Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door. We offer more.
Asset Link is gearing up for their unreserved June auction sale, June 21st to 25th. Find great farm machinery on offer, like 2007 John Deere 9770 combines, a 2009 AGCO 9345 swather, a 2015 Ram 2500 HD pickup, and more. Make sure to get bidding for the best price on the equipment you want. Asset Link, with yards in Saskatoon, Lloydminster, and Lacombe. Go to assetlink.ca to bid now.
Hello? Is there anybody that could help me with some lumber for some projects this summer?
If you find yourself needing assistance but talking to nobody, then you're definitely not at Freeze Tallman, where they even know you by name. You're not just a number. They'll answer all your questions if you have a decking, railing, or fencing job on the horizon this year. They'll even deliver. Shop local. Freeze Tallman in Regina and Fort Capel.
Freeze Tallman. Let's get you building.
Get it hot, get it fast. Western Pizza.
If your fridge could talk, what would it say?
Hey, look at me. I'm a talking fridge.
Okay, but what would it say about what's inside?
Yikes. You've got some old deer sausage back here next to the moldy cauliflower.
Your fridge would probably tell you to order Western Pizza. They've got their pizza down to perfection.
Make sure you knock on me first. You might see the salad dressing.
Western Pizza. Dine in or takeout. Order today.
Get it hot, get it fast. Western Pizza.
This is Sportscage. Watch our live stream at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Welcome back to the Sportscage for Access Communications. Trusted in rural Saskatchewan for internet, TV, home security. A lot on the show today. The question that we had, and started early in the show, is will Connor McDavid win a Stanley Cup? Will he win a Stanley Cup with the Oilers, or will he win a Stanley Cup with another team?
Some other team.
What was your take in hour one?
Both.
Has it?
No, it's both.
Hasn't wavered?
No, it's both.
Okay, well,
because
I don't think that's allowed.
What I'm saying is he's going to win one at Edmonton, right? Edmonton's problems in this year's final were 2 injuries to Hyman and Nugent-Hopkins that slowed them down. And I think Ekholm wasn't as good as everybody thought he was going to be. I kind of disagree with Farhan on that. But I do think that he'll win one in Edmonton. There's just too much talent there for that all to go aside.
Okay, hold on.
And then, towards the end of his career, somebody's going to pick him up. Somebody's going to take him, and he's going to get a second one, or third, or fourth.
Too much talent in Edmonton. Give me 5 talented players on the Oilers.
Well, you can start with McDavid.
You can't use McDavid.
Okay, Draisaitl, Hyman, Nugent-Hopkins.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Right? Oh, crap. Where was I going? Defense.
Bouchard, I'm not putting on
I'm
there
not
after,
putting
after those
Bouchard
last
on
few
there.
games.
No.
Not at home after those last few games.
I would put...
Not Darnell Nurse.
I would put Darnell Nurse on there.
Okay, you're drunk.
Not yet, but I will be later.
We're still at 3. I don't know, man. It's... I think this was the win. It's easy for me to say that. I think last year was probably the one.
I think the curse of Corey Perry is a real thing, and they have to move on from him.
I don't think it is. I think it's your defense got exposed.
I think their defense got exposed big time.
Stu Skinner, man. So that's the
I'm
other
not
thing.
down on Skinner. I'm not.
There's so many, and like listening to other shows, and they get into the weeds, and they're like, they're jock sniffers, and they got all these names of guys coming up and who to trade for and all that, all these goalies, but at the end of the day, none of them are like, oh my, like Swayman. That's one that's being thrown around. Swayman's gonna move to Edmonton. No,
and make a difference. Swayman's not better than Skinner.
At times he might be.
Yeah, but overall,
Skinner's
26.
You got Skinner. You're gonna get another guy like Skinner that you're just gonna lambaste and then treat like a dish rag at times. Although they won't have as nice a closet.
Bobrovsky's 10 years older. He's 36 years old. He's played an extra 10 years in the league,
and he had some tough years too.
He did.
Where he looked like.
He was average, right? Like I don't get the down on Skinner thing. You're down to the last 2 goalies in the National Hockey League. Why do you think that there's somebody that's going to be that much better if you're down to the last 2?
That sounds like a new Dallas from Nelson song. Down on Skinner. We should write it, and then we can perform it. I heard you were singing last weekend in Pilot Butte.
No, I did not sing. That is not true. That is not true. But I can play the guitar.
It's been fun. Once again, Sharky, next week you're here with... you're here with me.
I'm here with you next week.
That's the week after we got a special surprise.
Yeah.
So that's the show for today. Thanks to Access Communications, Western Pizza Guest Hotline, everybody that participated on that, and a whole lot more to basketball tonight. Big one. If you're watching basketball, I'm going to a grade 8 grad day. Tomorrow, get your KFC big... end zone crunch $4.95, all participating on game day KFCs, and big crunch combos $7.95. So that's it. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you again, well, I guess Monday, because tomorrow's Rider game. Go Riders. See you then.
Go Riders.
620 CKRM is your home to country's greatest hits and the 90s at 9. 1 full hour featuring the biggest hits of the 90s. Garth, Reba, Alan, Shania, George, and so much more. No cassette tape or CDs required, and 90s mullets are optional. 90s at 9 for the town of Wolseley and the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM. 620 CKRM on location.